Now we're live. Okay, I think we got it. You want to see if we got it? I think so. I think I managed to share. Yay! No, they can see it. Okay. Nope, that's good. It was the weirdest thing. I have to reboot my computer because my disk space was full. And then I'd already started the live, but it had like the wheel going forever and ever and ever. So I thought, okay, I'm going to just have to try to reboot it. But then I realized it's been so long since we actually sent from the computer that I didn't know how to rejoin the damn stream again. I can watch myself and wait for myself, but it's working. Okay, Stitch of the Month. I'm going to have a hard time showing it because we're mirrored. Like my shelf is there, but on my screen it's there. Anyhow, but I can at least show you what it looks like. But yeah, it is mirrored. But this is the Stitch of the Month, the Stutby stitch. Let's see. That was the end. I did finish my, this way. Oh, I have to get used to going mirror. Anyway, this was my end row that I finished at the very end of last. So this is done. I just need to make a cord for it. And then, or do a cord and then, ta-da! So I can show you how I did it, but I guess maybe it'll look really great for left-handers. But I can at least see the, chat. Yeah. The beautiful cat. Thank you, Heidi. The beautiful cat at the opening screen. That is Godzilla. He passed away on Monday, unfortunately. He had a kidney infection and we didn't know. So he had to be put down. It was a sad day. Special thanks to Greg for running out and picking up my kid so she could say goodbye to her cat. I have to say, though, if we were going to lose the kid's cat, it was under the best of circumstances when the kid was here and could say goodbye. So, yeah. Yeah, I know. So we put a little one up there. Meanwhile, because there's always got to be like a bright side, Karl's crotch is now going to be okay because he's not going to be doing swan dives from up there and landing in.
But Fuzzy is gaining weight and learning to climb.
Yes, he is.
So
there's still hope.
Nature abhors a vacuum, so somebody will always fill it.
Yep. So there you go. No, but yeah, no. So it was really quite sad. He was 12 years old, so he was technically a senior citizen according to the vet. But still, we would have hoped to have a little bit more years out of him. But I'm, like I said, I'm really glad that my kids were there to be able to go and say goodbye because it's technically their cat. The only one we have now is Carla, and we're just cat sitting.
What are you just ignoring Fuzzy now?
No, that's Alex's cat. It was Cecilia's cat was Godzilla. And then the lady in the vet thing, she's like writing out the thing, and then we have to get an urn made. Of course, so Cecilia can have the ashes and everything. And the lady, she said, "What's the name of the cat?" And I said, "It's Godzilla." She says, "Okay." And she's like, "Godzilla?" And I thought that was like Norwegian pronunciation of Godzilla, but apparently she hasn't watched enough Japanese sci-fi movies or something. But it turns out they said, so Catzilla. And I'm like, oh, no. It's got to be Godzilla. Catzilla is something different. Carla, I don't know how the other cats are. How do you think the cats are coping? I think they kind of knew something was wrong. We didn't at first, but.
And some of her screaming lightly is probably stop doing
Do
that.
not kill my couch.
Is probably that she was in heat, but also she has been much more concerned about breaking out lately than she used to be. So I think she wants to check the house.
Yeah, maybe. We kept the blanket just in case, though. So for her to see. Osman is here. I was going to bring some stuff from Osman to see. I am having a totally disorganized day today. For one, we leave my phone at work. And then we get someone to pick it up, but it turns out they can't deliver it for 2 hours, which is okay, but it's fine. But it's very nice that they're bringing it back at all. We can stream via Karl's link on my computer, but I had to wait to create a link because if I want to stream from the phone, the link has to be created on the phone. I can't create the phone or the link on the computer and then stream with the phone afterwards. So we would be bound to it. So then there was that. Then what else did I do wrong today? I was going to bring Osman's stuff. Osman's box arrived yesterday, and he had some little glasses to show and some new journals, and I forgot to bring them. They're at home. I mean, at work. What else did I forget to do today? Stop killing the couch. Stop killing the couch. Well, they're going to make sure we're not bored, these two cats. So yeah. Let's see. PJ's here. Says hi. I can only pop in briefly. I misread that. I can only poop in briefly. I can only pop in briefly. I'm helping a friend get her memoir onto Amazon, and it has to be done tonight. And there was a few last minute changes she wanted. She's now ordering food. Oh, that's nice that you're doing the memoir thing.
Pooping briefly would be a nice skill to have.
Karl doesn't know how to do that. The Outer was here, is still here. Albert's here. Yeah, no, there are some things I'm not going to mention out loud in chat that Albert has written. I'm just going to do this. And maybe I have to, Karl, he's a little on the blind side, so I'll have to put a little bit closer. I did see wind of this, and I was wondering if I could mention it, but now I see there's a thing that says no mention about it. So I'm not going to mention it, but he's involved us all in a nice little secret. Let's see if I can find it. So there we go. Okay. That comment right there, Karl.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we are not going to say anything.
And we're not going to say anything, but we're going to enjoy reading the comment. So just in case.
Is really bad operational security.
What?
It's a secret, but I put it on the internet.
But it's in chat, so nobody will know unless they're in chat. And if they're not reading it, then. Anyway, so it was nice. Torben is here. He said he's got. I can't read anything about this on the chat. Anyway, Audra is here. I finally got the necessary medication. Now I'm waiting for it to start working, and it will take a few days. Yay! Go medicine. See who else am I missing? Katie Erickson's here in Walker, and they've got rain. Northern Minnesota has rain now. We're all starting to get over to the rainy side of things. We have seen a huge inflow. I mean, I thought the tourism would start to slow down a little bit now. In Norway, school starts next week or this week. My kids just went back today. But in like United States, Germany, I think England, they don't start for almost another month.
I believe that the top of the wave is always around now, right before the school starts.
Yep.
And then we expect it to basically go close doors as soon as the school starts, but it doesn't. Because France
many people.
Some other countries have later vacations than the Norwegians.
Yeah.
So we are now going into the season of the French.
And the Spanish, and there's still a ton of Spanish and Italians.
Yeah, but I've been there all along. So I don't think there is a standard for when they take vacation.
So you don't think maybe it was all these people getting tired of the heat and started going north?
That's probably part of it.
I'm wondering, because it just seems to be like a huge Southern American upswing. Or Southern European upswing.
Yeah.
But it is super hot there.
There is also a slight downward trend when it comes to the English speakers. This winter, we were drowning in Australians, and I barely see them anymore.
They're around. I just saw a whole bunch of them trying to figure out how to use the toilet at the train station.
That's because to the Australians, this is winter. Mm-hmm. So they don't have vacation.
No. They're still around, though, in tour groups, but yeah. But usually, every winter we have the Australians.
I run into Americans quite frequently, but the English has become more rare.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta say, there's English there around, but yeah, for some reason it's just been. But the thing is, I think the thing that makes the Spanish and the Italian stand out so much is they're not coming just family. They're coming in bus.
Yeah,
there are lots of them.
Not even close.
But the Germans are coming too.
When you walk around the village towards the end of the day,
oh man, that smells.
You will out of 10 people find 2 Americans and the rest will be a random assortment of Spanish, Italian, and Arab.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because of the second half of the day, that's always really heavy on the Mideastern visitors. Let's see. No, so they got. I saw Stuart also. Stuart Rich wrote. He doesn't. I don't think he watches this on YouTube anyway. But he posted on a picture anyway I wrote on a picture that I had posted with the rain, and he said in there in England, and he said, "Wow, I haven't seen rain in so long now. I would absolutely love to have some of that rain." So I guess we're kind of blessed over here. But this is actually. I mean, we got a lot of rain, but that's normal for this time of year.
Days like today is fine. It's
on and off rain.
It's probably the best days you can have.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit wet, but not so that you're soaked. And it's not super hot and it's not super cold. It's perfect.
Oh, it was quite nice today. Yesterday, midday, then when I was in the village, I saw that the mountains disappeared. That's the worst weather you could ever get in Gudvangen, is have the mountains completely disappear in fog. Yeah. But it was temporary, and then it just went whoosh, and then a little piece of the cloud came out. The background I took is from this morning. The background behind Zilla on the thumbnail is from this morning. You could see where you get kind of like the clouds are low lying, and then you got some mountains sticking out above it. It's quite fantasyful. Hi. You want your belly rubbed? Are we having PMS? Maybe. She might want to be petted. Karl, how is your sword? But Brutus here too. I think I said that, but if I didn't, I meant to.
How is my what now?
Your sword. I see Heidi Liset is here and Osman is here. Let's see. Kaya Ordal is here. Hello from sunny Teregda. I see there's been a lot of, this was Hannah, I think, though, but there's been a lot of fixing up at your father's house. They completely found, they took all the coats and shoes and things or whatever out of the front doorway, and I don't recognize it anymore. They cleaned it and they painted it. It looks absolutely beautiful, but it's like, what part of the house is this? It takes a minute. But it looks such a good job anyway. And I said Kaya's been rooting them on. They were on a trip too, by the way. Max is here. Prudis says, I lost my Viking knife at Vollen, but today I found it hiding under the emergency toilet paper stash. Was the emergency toilet paper stash in Vollen? Or did you actually not lose it in Vollen, but thought you lost it in Vollen and found it under was it in your car? Where was this elusive emergency toilet paper stash? Inquiring minds want to know.
Thing.
It does sound like a
You have an enormous amount of toilet paper, and at the very bottom you have a knife.
Yeah.
Because when you run out of toilet paper, you have to go and steal it from your neighbor, and then it's nice to be armed.
I think the Corona jokes are starting to make a comeback. I start to see some of these on Facebook. They come back. They're like replaying their greatest hits from like, remember this? Like the vaccine hiding behind a tree. But then, sorry, Milinovic and Plum is her name now. Anyway, Sari and Eric, I went to school with them, graduated with them. They've been married. It's so cute. Anyway, but Sari's playing jokes on Eric. She decided to put an extra roll of toilet paper behind the toilet, one a day, until he would notice. But he didn't notice. And I think she got up to like 12 rolls of toilet paper lined up on the top of the thing. She was going to start putting them on the windowsill. And I thought that was pretty cool, because that's something you would not even notice going, there seems to be an absurd amount of toilet paper here.
I would notice an absurd amount of toilet paper. But
how many rolls of toilet paper would it take you to notice?
I deal with the floor poop, woman.
I mean, for
toilet paper all the time.
Yeah, but how long would it take you to notice that there's an unusually more? If there was like one toilet paper roll all the time, then obviously you see 2, then 3, then 4, and it was starting adding up. How long would it take you to notice?
At 3.
You would notice at 3?
Yeah.
Okay. We might have to try this one day, but now I can't because you're expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was a fun game, but it did. It brought back Corona vibes, because one of the things we were doing in the Viking village, or at least in the Freeman's room, is because of the toilet paper joke anyway. So everybody was talking too much on it, but we decided all the little toilet paper rolls the empty toilet paper rolls anyway. We started stacking them in the window. We'd actually managed to fill one window throughout all of lockdown.
But you started this by asking me, how is your sword? And then you just start talking about toilet paper and chat things.
That's because I can smell pizza burning. How's your sword? See you. I needed you to tell a story while I go and save my pizza.
Do you want me to show off my sword again, like I did last week?
Yep. No, but do you like it any more today than you did last week?
This is a Roman gladius. The correct term for it, because gladius is just Latin for sword, is gladius hispaniensis, so the Spanish sword. Because the Romans, they are great at developing and doing something useful with other people's ideas. Didn't invent this, didn't invent the aqueduct, didn't invent road systems, didn't invent practically anything, but they make it great. So this is the standard sidearm of the Roman legions. It's a short sword, but combined with a really big curved shield. And it's meant primarily for stabbing. But it also have edges, and the Romans would enthusiastically cut with it. And also, when you have a sword in your hand and you are fighting, your panic reaction is to cut, not to stab. So when people are just going like this, they will cut. So, and the Roman legionaries are pretty disciplined, but sometimes they will freak out if you have enough goals in front of them. And the cutting isn't entirely pointless. There is a reference to Greeks coming to a battlefield after a Roman victory and looking at bodies. And these are spearmen, by the way, so they fight with spears. So cutting is not something that is much done when Greeks are fighting. And I see people dead with their arm and a piece of their shoulder cut off. And they basically start debating amongst themselves if the Romans are actually humans or if they are some kind of animals. So sometimes you cut with this. I haven't had time to sharpen it properly. I had like 1 hour in the chieftain's hall, because the chieftain's hall is dark, so nobody can see what I'm doing anyway. So I could spend an hour to try to sharpen not exactly Viking sword, but my whetstone is this tiny little thing. So it's not exactly done in a jiffy. When it is semi-sharp, I call it. Semi-sharp, I call it.
Pizza.
So I basically first have to make an edge and then sharpen the edge. And I would like something bigger than this for that.
Okay, did we get the sword update now? So, because I use you to stall time. You don't want a thick blade, says Albert for swords. Torben says, I usually take my gladius round the bend. Did you just stab yourself?
No, I'm at an awkward angle to put it back in the sheet.
There's innuendos in that. Speaking of galls, I want to make a pair of Obelix trousers for the rather large red-headed Viking friend. It was Asterix and Obelix. Do they have red hair? No, anyway, she wants to make Obelix trousers. What do the Obelix trousers look like? Because I'd have to, in order to Google now, I have to tab out.
Blue and white striped trousers made for somebody really
like Asterix and Obelix, chubby. Yeah? Yeah.
Yes, that's what we are talking about.
Is that what the Obelix is? I don't know. I never heard Obelix trousers. I guess I never thought of just Asterix and just Obelix. It's always Asterix and Obelix. I did not know who Asterix and Obelix were until I came to Norway. I don't think I did. Maybe I saw it in Sweden or something before, but I don't think I did. Let's see.
I think it's popular in all of Europe. It's either French or Belgian. I believe it is French, while most comics in Europe are Belgian.
Yeah.
But I think this one is French. I'm not entirely sure.
Maggie's here. She says, oh, very pretty blade. Hello from Colorado. Torben says, semi-sharp. It's very sharp. Not semi, but semi. Semi sounds like semen. You can't. I'm sure there's some country that pronounces it. Where I come from, we say semi.
Yes, but I make
The
myself
semi-sharp.
understood.
Does he know? Garcia's here. Oh, we've missed Garcia. She says hi, just popping in. Hello.
Yeah. And
The world's probably the one Dutch person Karl likes.
Mhm.
Garcia. She could be the one Dutch person you like, right?
Have I met her?
You haven't. She's on YouTube for like years.
Mm.
Yeah. So you have to like her. You have no choice. I like her.
Now, there are some Dutch people I kind of like. They're just not curious with small children.
There you go. Kaya says, for a daft moment, I thought Karin wanted Karl to slice the pizza with the sword. Nope, I did, but I cut it just before it burned. I don't know if I can show this without tipping over a computer. There we go. I just made it. This is called the cheese pizza my kids didn't eat, and I forgot to put in the fridge yesterday. So it was on the counter completely thawed out for a whole night. And then I added the leftover hot dogs for it that my kids didn't finish eating. And there you go. But because this is, now it's carnivorous and something Karl might eat. And then I didn't know how to bake it because it was already thawed. But hopefully it's still good. If not, we might be sick tomorrow. But then I thought, we have ketchup.
I'm not a picky eater at all, but I have one
Garlic
requirement
dressing.
for food, and that is something has to die.
Barbecue
Might be a
sauce.
fish, might be a bird, might be a higher animal, but
it's leftover with leftovers, says Albert. Yep, nope. It's and Karl's got a really special drink to go along with this.
Yeah.
This is, by the way, she's Garcia. She says she's interested in your sword. What kind is it?
That one.
Yeah.
It's still a Roman gladius.
It's a Roman gladius. She might have joined in just late. Okay.
Also known as the Gladius Hispaniensis, because gladius in Latin, it just means sword. Yep. This one specifically is the Spanish sword, so Gladius Hispaniensis.
Then show us what you're going to drink tonight.
Tonight, I'm not drinking beer because my throat is acting up horribly. So I'm trying this for medical reasons.
And it's probably mirrored, but we can't do anything about it today. Raw stuff.
No, it should be the right way around, I think.
No, we what we see is opposite, I think, what everybody else sees. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's RA with a circle over it. STOFF. Raw stuff, pure licorice.
Yeah.
Which means raw
materials.
Raw materials, yeah.
So this is a licorice shot, which is probably better for my throat than the
finest blend premium shot with high quality licorice. There is no way I'm going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. 16.4% alcohol.
I have seen
recipe number 02776-2, and it's even signed.
I've seen some tall Polish people, but never no one that was 10 foot.
RAASTOFF.DK. Anyway, raw stuff. But if you don't know how to do A with a circle over it on an English keyboard, you can just do two A's.
DK, so it's Danish.
It's Danish?
Then the word doesn't necessarily mean what it means in Norwegian.
Stuff. No, what would it mean? Because I would think it was the raw stuff.
But
stuff could be drugs.
In Norwegian, you would say that jernmalm er råstoffet for å lage jern.
Jern, man lager råstoff for å lage jern.
No. Jernmalm er råstoffet for å lage jern.
Jernmalm er?
Iron ore is the raw material to make iron.
Oh, I thought you were saying the Iron Man is the raw stuff, the raw material to make iron. Didn't make sense. I'm putting barbecue on mine. Sweet baby
Iron Man will stuff you roughly.
I should do needle binding today, but it would be really hard to demonstrate it. But we did do this for 2 weeks, so we can see how it is anyway, but I'll still do some stitching and bitching. Katie says, hello, it's a rainy day in Walker, and I'm home and alone and unsupervised. Go Peg Gilly. I mean, yay, unsupervised is good. You should do the Mintu, Karl says. Torben. You should do the Mintu, Karl says, Torben.
We had Mintu not that long ago.
Yeah, no, and you're not allowed to have it anymore. I know what he's doing. Mind you.
I think this might have a similar effect.
Kaya says, are you planning on destroying the virus by killing the host organism? That would be the host. You, how was it?
It's a reset button for my throat. I killed whatever is bothering me and my immune system, and the first one to regroup and reorganize wins. Sometimes it works.
You know what's really good with a liqueur?
Pizza.
Slowly sipping it. Not gonna happen?
I can slowly shot the whole bottle.
He's gonna slowly shot the whole bottle. No. Anyway. That's the same one that made the caramel one, though, that we had. That was really good. You dropped something there. No, you can't have my pizza. Get out of the... Here, I don't need to feed you like a baby. I can just do that. Max says, also, I couldn't believe I slept like a drunk zombie. Oh, I miss sleeping like a drunk zombie. That only happens in the winter under a really big Dina that Audra made me. Because it's too hot in the summer.
It only happens when Karl is doing it too.
Mm-hmm. She's been better at night until the last couple nights anyway. No, but in the summertime, it's not just that it's hot, but it's muggy and bright. I actually have to sleep with a sleeping mask on at night, or in the... I mean, for a location with really high mountains, it's still pretty bright. So we're in the shadow of a mountain, and it's still pretty bright. Did you want some? I grabbed garlic, ketchup, and barbecue.
Garlic.
I thought I'd try the garlic dressing. Why not?
That sounds interesting enough to try.
I've never seen like garlic ranch. It's going to be really runny though, by the way. On do you want me to shake that for you there? Oh, it's good. Until I came to Norway, then they were starting to put ranch dressing on it or something. It's really good. Mm-hmm. We're having pizza. Annetta would be proud. I have to say hi to Annetta when she catches up, though. Because she's been in and out of health issues, but she's on the mend, which is good to know. But we miss her. Oh, and she's got a really cool looking teapot, that like checkered flag. It's wonderful. Redisby's here, by the way. Redisby says it's written the correct way for us. Okay, so they can read the row stuff thing. And then or at least the Swedes can anyway. The video is not mirrored, says Peruta, and at Redisby, he thinks it's a hilarious idea. Let's see. Well, good that it's not mirrored anyway. Then maybe I can try to show needle binding. I'd have to hug the computer though. You know, like have the laptop here. So we can try. I will give it a go. But first, Sweet Baby Ray's on a cheese pizza with leftover hot dogs. Although I think I ate all the hot dogs on this piece. It's not bad for being forgotten to put back in the freezer. Out on the counter all night.
Okay,
it's actually going this way. You're live again. Does everybody else have it now, though? This is YouTube getting mad at me for talking with food in my mouth. Welcome back. Okay, yeah, no, so we tried to reconnect it now that it didn't take me 5 minutes to figure out how to get back on again. Okay. Let's see. I have to go back to live chat instead of top chat so I can see all the wonderful comments. I hear a Carla, says Albert. Yeah, well, then it's definitely back. No, it's because, okay, yeah, there was a warning that came across the top of the screen, says, warning. Where did it say? Warning, your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. And then it kind of just kept saying that. And then all of a sudden, I can see other people are buffering too. I don't know at what point it started going at, but like I said, I think it's because I was eating with food in my mouth and YouTube doesn't. I was talking with food in my mouth. Eating with food in my mouth is definitely necessary. But I think YouTube probably thought, don't do that. Bad habit, Karen. Anyway. So we got some, we're traveling.
Yeah.
We're going to do the quickest vacation possible in Norway.
It's going to be short and stressful.
Short and stressful, but totally worth it. So my mom's gone on a cruise ship, and I knew she was going to come sometime at the end of the year or later in the summer, but didn't know exactly when. Then I get a message on the 3rd of August. Anyway, that says we're gonna come. We're coming. Our boat is coming to Norway, cruise ship, and it will be in Oslo on the 17th. And we're like, yay! And she's like, don't stress. I know it's last minute notice, but see if you can get your father-in-law to come and pick up a present for you if he can meet us, because he lives in Oslo. And I thought, you know what? Screw that. We're going. So we are, but to try to fit it into our schedule, actually, we're going to take a night train tomorrow night. It leaves at 00 something in the morning on Tuesday morning. And then we're going to wake up. We got a sleeping cart. Then we're going to wake up at 6:30 in the morning in Oslo. And then pretty much hang out there all the day. Go meet my mom's boat, meet my father-in-law, who I haven't seen in a while. My other father-in-law, my former father-in-law, but he's still father-in-law, and his wife Yana. And then my kids are going to they just went back today, but they'll have their first day of school on Tuesday, so they'll come out as soon as they can and see if they can catch my mom's boat to say hi. And then we'll go do lunch, and if the kids miss my mom's boat, we'll still go shopping or something, or do dinner afterwards. And then we're going to take a night train back at like 11:30 at night from Oslo all the way back to Voss on a sleeping cart again, and then get up at 5:05 in the morning in Voss and wait until 10 o'clock to take the first 10:16, I think, is the first bus going back to Gudvangen. So that gets us to Gudvangen sometime around 11:30 ish. Yeah. However, our wonderful friends at Tour the Fjords, they schedule tour groups from Bergen that involve and include the Viking village along the way, and they're usually they bus people to Voss. They put them on the train in Voss. The train then takes them to Myrdal and then sends them down via Flåmsbana and then on the ferry back over to Gudvangen again, which is quite cool. But in the meantime, they have to take the buses from Voss to Gudvangen where they meet the ferry, etc. But they're driving empty buses, so they're like, ride with us. We leave 16 minutes before your bus does, and we only stop where you want to stop. So we're like, but of course we're going to do this. Thank you so much, Tour the Fjords. They do actually have trips all throughout the winter, by the way. For people who are thinking about it, you have to look that one up. It's probably something like tourthefjords.no or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. But it's based out of Bergen, Norway. Wonderful people.
It's them and Disney, but I feel that I know the guides and I can basically talk to them like they were co-workers.
But these have been the same guides for like, I don't know, how long have we been in cahoots with them? 4 years or so? At least 2022. They started taking trips out to us.
And probably not more than 2 years.
Nope, and then they pick them up here, and I think they go to other places too. I don't know exactly where anyway. But yeah, no. So anyway, that was really nice of them. So they will let us hitch a ride. But not only that, they're very happy because there's no one to talk to on the bus because all their guests are on.
Oh yeah, and obviously a Russian guy. What's his face?
Russian guy. Yandis.
Yeah.
What is Yandis' tour group called?
We could just call it Yandis.
It's Yandis, Jandis, but
because he's like
he's a tour guide from Russia originally, but he's been living in Norway for God knows how long. He speaks Norwegian just fine.
Yeah.
And English.
First time I met him was back in 2011.
Really?
And I'm guiding him in English.
Mm.
Then I'm walking up the hill and I meet Fjallar. And Fjallar says, give me some kind of information in Norwegian, and I answer him in Norwegian. And then I hear this sound behind me. And I turn around and I see this Russian guy I've been guiding in English. And he goes, du snakker norsk? Jeg snakker veldig dårlig engelsk, norsk er mye bedre.
But he can understand your nynorsk as well.
Yeah. And his English is great now. This was 2011.
No, he's amazing.
He has kind of VIP groups, mostly Americans. Sometimes Russians and other Eastern Europeans, but rare ducks nowadays.
Yeah.
But it's mostly Americans.
Mm.
And then he has friends all over the world. And when one of his friends comes to visit him, he always takes them to Gudvangen. And he doesn't really book a group, but if I have time, I guide them around. Because he's such a nice guy and he gets a little bit extra service.
No, he's really good. But he's one of those private drivers. He has private groups. How big do his groups get actually?
I
Because
have
he's usually
only
using
seen
like a
him
big
with.
limo van.
I've only seen him with really small groups.
Mm-hmm.
I think no more than like 7.
Yeah,
Usually it's like
7 would be a pretty big group for him. I
one or
think.
2 couples is the typical Yandis group size.
Do you know where they come from? Everywhere though. His customers too.
Well, mostly America. Sometimes Russians and sometimes other Eastern Europeans, but it's mostly America.
But that's because he can talk. He can speak their language too. So
yes,
Yeah.
but he wasn't always good at that.
no. But
I think he lived over there for a while.
yeah, he's lived a lot of places. I think actually, but he's been in Norway almost as long as I have.
Well, he's at least been there since 2011. And
Yeah, no, I mean, I actually asked him about that
he
once.
spoke good Norwegian in 2011, so I would guess at least a handful of years before that.
Yeah, no, I think he's been here since probably 2000. But anyway, yeah, no, he's an absolutely wonderful guy. I would love to recommend his services, but I forget. I don't know the name of his guiding his group. But anyway, it's Yandis, Jandis, and he's probably based out of Bergen.
In our calendar, he comes up as Yandis. So that is what his. This is an eternal problem when you're guiding, particularly VIP groups. Because, and now I'm pulling names out of my ass, but the point is true, even though the names are somehow made up.
Yeah.
Somebody buys tickets from a business called Nordic Extreme Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Nordic Extreme Adventure buy these tickets from Sloppy Second Norwegian Tours. Sloppy Second Norwegian Tours buy the tickets from the Flom system. And we just get the information that it's a private guiding.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes I know the nationality and number of people. And sometimes that's completely wrong because Rita from Massachusetts decided to go to get a massage instead. So I had the wrong number of people. So I'm just standing around in the hallway and I can't very well go up to people and say, are you here for the private tour? Because all I have to do then is to say yes, and I get a free product that is actually kind of expensive. So I just stand there smiling like an idiot. Every time I see somebody who kind of looks like this is the correct demographic for my group, I walk up to them and go, and if they go photo, I know it's the wrong people. And if they go, are you waiting for us? Then I go, depends. Who are you? And sometimes the answer is completely meaningless. But if they say, I booked a private tour, I go, yes, I'm waiting for you. I really wish there was some kind of secret handshake here, but it really isn't.
But Yandis, you can always tell. He's
because I recognize him, which makes it much, much easier. And he is always going, Karl, are you guiding my group? And I go, yeah. And he goes, yes, I'm very glad because I know you are quality.
So there you go. You have Tour of the Fjords, but that's like there's also Norway in a nutshell, but that one you kind of do your own thing. And some of them they stop in Gudvangen, but you would have to like discontinue your trip with Norway in a nutshell in Gudvangen and then rejoin it another day or something.
But that's kind of how they work. It's just a matter of...
That was the bus I took back today. It was Norway in a nutshell.
It took so long for us to basically convince them that I have to have enough of a time window in Gudvangen because...
They just go straight to the ferry.
Gudvangen used to be a place that people just walk through. Either I come with buses from Flom, go out on the gas station side, walk across the river and go on a ferry back to Flom or to Kaupanger. Or it's the other way. They come with a ferry and they go on a bus. So maybe if the Fjordtel is really lucky, they stop for a cup of coffee or some weird souvenir.
Yeah.
But you don't get them to stop.
No.
And today, I noticed, because I was on archery at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
And then I was on customer interaction at 5 o'clock. And I see the same 3 Spanish children at 10 o'clock and at 5 o'clock. So they have literally been here for most of the opening hours.
They might have actually, because a lot of people will stay in the hotel too. Or the camping or whatever, and then they will continue their trip the next day.
And
The bus I took this morning to Voss was full. There was the one at 11:30, which was completely full and sold out. The one I had on, probably the one that we ended up going on, which was about an hour and a half earlier. This is the VY bus, VY though. I think that one was at least 75% full. But there are other buses going. There's the SKY but SS bus. She's bus. That one is actually a lot cheaper, but it doesn't show up on the VI schedule, and I didn't want to risk it with my kids' tickets, so I didn't want them to miss their train. But actually, I was going to say some comments in here. Albert says, by the way, he was just in Oslo, went to the History Museum to see the Yarmanbu finds and the rest of the finds there. We were actually talking about, because we have to find some things to do to kill time, and you haven't been at the National History Museum in a long time?
Not since I was a kid.
Yeah, you definitely should go then. Because they did I think they did a Viking installment sometime after, it's after 2015 anyway, but it was before COVID, maybe 2019 or 2018. Anyway, and I went there to do some part of a Viking installment. A bunch of Viking reenactors went there and participated anyway. So, but to open in the new one for the Viking Age anyway, and it was really quite cool. But there's also there's mummies in there, but they have nothing to do with the Viking Age. But but the Yarmanbu finds and everything were really cool to see, and they had some Sami finds as well, which was really nice. The raincoat that was made out of fish skin, I think. Something is so cool. Anyway, but yeah, so that's we're planning on doing that. By the way, and then Ren asked a question here too. Ren was asking me some questions yesterday before my internet went goofy, and then I meant to respond today, but I've been running around. There we go. So the ferry from Bergen goes to the Viking village. Can I ride the ferry from the Viking village back to Bergen? That might be a better option than hiring a driver. So a driver will get you to where you want to go. No waiting. And he'll stop you along the way and tell you a bunch of interesting things if you want to. So you don't have to do stop. You won't have to transfer, etc. But that does cost more, I'm sure. Yandis is one of those people. But you know about the ferry because you can get here by ferry. I know Anne Moreau was talking about doing that too. You can get here by ferry, but you have to switch somewhere from Bergen.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what the schedules are like in the off season.
Yeah, I don't know the schedules either, but that also depends very much on when you're showing up, if it's weekend or weekday, and if it's season or off-season.
If it's the Needle-binding Festival, 6th through the 8th, you might want to show up on the 5th, but you'd have the
What day is that?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Most likely, the early boat from Bergen there will be one going directly to Sogn and one going directly to Nordfjord. You want to go on the Sogn one?
SOGN.
And I believe it will go all the way to Flå. I'm not entirely sure about this.
Yeah, that I have to check.
That might be a summer thing.
Is that Nordled?
Yeah.
Mm.
And
so NORLED, Nordled.
By Norwegian's definition of things, this is not a ferry; it's an express boat.
The one from Bergen is, yeah.
Everything you don't put a car in is an express boat and not a ferry.
Okay, it's just me and my Americanism that calls it a ferry because it ferries people in cars or people. If it's going just back and forth like a bus, then we call it a ferry.
It goes back and forth like a bus, but it doesn't have cars on it, so it's an express boat.
Because Norway's not going to call it a ferry; they're going to call it an express boat. But also from BGO, that would be the airport, Bergen Flesland or something. Anyway, there's a subway rail system. You can just take that; it'll take you straight downtown to the end of the line. It's not a subway. It's what do you call it? It just basically goes one line. They call it something like Bergen's Linje, whatever. Bybanen. Yeah, Bybanen. So the city rail. Anyway, but it pretty much just goes.
It's a train system. It's not a subway because it doesn't go in more tunnels than everybody else in Bergen.
But it's like a light rail. Kind of. Also, they all go underground, but Bergen, on the other hand, if there's any tunnels, it's a tunnel that's built over it. But anyway, you can take that to the end of the line. Bergen's center. I think there actually are like maybe 3 lines or something in Bergen, but from the airport anyway, that's one end of the like the one end of the tunnel is Bergen and the other end is the city. It stops, then it turns around and goes. It doesn't even turn around. It just changed. It just driver goes from there to there, and then it goes that way.
If you are flying into Bergen, then the simplest thing to do is to take the Bybanen to the railway station, take the train to Voss, and take a bus from Voss to Gudvangen.
The railway station, the railway, whatever you call it, the light rail, the Bybanen anyway, it does go right to the bus station, train station. If you go all the way to the end of the line, meaning you take it a little too far, you're 1 block away from the train station, but not that far.
It's short 10-minute walk from the end of the line to the railway station.
Easily. Then there's a bus called Norway, split up, NOR, and then WAY. And that one does have a line that goes directly to Oslo from Bergen, and that will stop at spit you out at Gudvangen if you want.
I have to tell you, I'm a Norwegian, so I understand the Norwegian language, and I have a pretty good grasp on Norwegian customs. But when I try to take a bus from Bergen to Gudvangen, what happens?
You end up going through Odda.
I end up going through a bus that drives through every point in Hardanger, in Hordaland, in alphabetical order before it goes to Voss.
There's a reason you had that problem, though.
I was on the bus for like 4 hours for a 1-hour trip.
But that's because the bus you were supposed to take was instilt. There was something happened anyway, and so it was not running for an unforeseeable amount of time. I don't know why, but there was either road work or something.
What I'm saying is that Norwegian buses can be somewhat I think occult is the correct word here, because it is something that normal people just doesn't fucking understand.
Yandis, is how he spell his name. Jandis is the driver's name, and I have no idea what company he works for. But I'll have to find that and look it up, though. Anyway, he's really good. There's another one, but where's Mal based from? Because Mal's not. I think he's based in Sogn or something. But
he's in Ytre Sogn. You know where they make all the Kronsteins.
Sheila. Sheila. Kile.
No.
No.
I'm sure I'll remember this in like 5 seconds, but Hyllestad. He is either in or near Hyllestad.
Karl's hair is looking good again. This is Pruda, including the little dressing on the beard there. But yeah, Mal Dixon is another one. I'm not sure where Mal Dixon. I don't know where Mal's Dixon. That sounds so bad. Anyway, Mal Dixon lives in Hyllestad, which is in a different direction than Bergen. So I don't know where his tour starts from, but he will also take people through on Norwegian tours. I have no idea how much it's a private service, so it probably costs a lot more. But he used to be a guide at the village.
If I understand correctly, and I'm not entirely sure because
more wine.
I don't know his business model. He is basically a competitor of ours, but he's also a friend, somebody who used to work at. But I believe what he is doing is extremely high-end VIP groups.
Yeah.
So I think it is probably...
But Mal doesn't just port you from one place to another. He stops everywhere and guides you along the way.
Yeah, it's probably very expensive, but
he's probably Sogn as well.
Worth it.
Yeah.
He is very serious about his craft.
Yeah, but I think he involves Sogn. I don't know if he involves Bergen, going all the way back and forth to Bergen, but yeah, Yandis's information. I do have Yandis's phone number, but I'm pretty sure it's a private one, so I'm not gonna. Well, actually, it's on my phone, which is over there in the valley. But I will look it up and ask him for his card anyway. He's in a couple of times a week easily, Yandis, but Yandis is really good. But like I said, there's also Tour the Fjords, and Tour the Fjords, it starts in Bergen. I don't know what time in the morning, and you could ask if you could take part of it. And so you're basically getting out in Gudvangen. But then, like I said, they will bus you from Bergen to Voss, which is about normally a 2.5 hour drive. And then they will put you on a train in Voss to Myrdal, which is oh, look at that, the chat is doing something goofy there, which is way past Gudvangen, but up high on a mountain anyway. And then you will take the Flåmsbana, which is the Flåm railway that goes down. It's quite cool. I finally got to see that anyway, but it's the steepest train.
I don't know.
Anyway, but it comes out in Flåm, and then they put you on the electric ferry, the boat that doesn't take cars. It looks like an accordion, and they will put you on that in Flåm, and then you take that to Gudvangen. And I mean, it must be pretty soon, because they drop them off around 10 o'clock or so in Bergen, and that's where they're taking their train. By the time they get up to Myrdal, take the other train down the Flåmsbana down to Flåm, and then take the ferry over. They end up in Gudvangen around 2 o'clock, 2:15 or so. And then they spend an hour or so they spend more than an hour in Gudvangen anyway. They take a 30-minute tour instead of a 45-minute one. And then they go to the next place, which is probably Tvindefossen, the waterfall, etc., back towards Bergen again. But you could ask Tour the Fjords, how much would it be if you just took it as far as far as Gudvangen? So then you could see all that other cool stuff along the way. The Myrdal and the Flåmsbana and the ferries. You can see the fjord from the electric ferry anyway. Because they come all year round to us, every day of the year pretty much. If they have people, I think they have to have at least 3 people, and they'll go. But right now they're up to two buses or so. 3.
At least in the beginning, I've seen them come with 1.
Yeah, it depends on what time they get here anyway. But that would be the kind of thing that, okay, you probably don't want to do that on the 6th. That's when we've already started and we have workshops and things. But you could do that on the 5th, and then you're already in Gudvangen, and you can wake up in Gudvangen.
The way I understand it, I've never used their services. I can't say for sure. But the way I understand it, Yandis and Mal have a pretty similar business.
Yandis and Mal are private.
Yeah, they are private. And what do you get, basically, if you buy Yandis services?
Hey.
Is that you get time and very positive and happy Russian that knows everybody and everything.
It knows everybody.
In at least in Indre Sogn, probably in most of Norway.
He's one of the few guides that can actually get you to do favors. Actually,
Yeah,
he insists. He loves to have Karl on his tour, and Karl will happily do his tours. Not everybody gets to.
I would say that he's actually the only guy who can do that.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Because
how did you gain favor with Yandis? Or Yandis loves you, but you actually
I've known him.
You'll go out of your way for him.
Since 2011 at least.
That's probably why, yeah. Just
probably longer. He probably also he did. He showed up before we were a professional business.
Yeah. Well, obviously, then if it was then.
I've known him for close to 20 years.
Yeah, because he's one of those. Karl, it's like, if they're late or whatever, they want special things or something. Karl's not. If they want Karl as a guide specifically, then Karl will be like, yeah, but you don't get that kind of favoritism, etc. But Yandis does.
Yeah, because I like him.
There you go. Yeah. Anyway,
it's kind of as simple as that.
Yeah. So Yandis, I can check out. I'll give you his information next week. I should, if I remember to have it. At least I'll have my phone.
we kind of have a system that is not a system, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the tour operators have a guide, and then they completely fall in love with that guide, and they decide that, okay, we want this guide forever. And yeah, if we can accommodate, we accommodate. But sometimes they're just straight up unreasonable. Because obviously the quality of guides can't be the same. We have people who have been doing this for 9 years, and we have people who started this year. They won't have the same quality. And if everybody gets to pick and choose, the people with little experience will never get any more experience because they will never be chosen.
Yeah.
There are some kind of rules that are not really rules, but we do our very best to do it. So, for instance, Karin, what do we do with Korean people?
They get me as a guide. I don't normally guide. Because I'm the exact opposite of Karl.
She only guides Korean people.
I guide Korean people, but I'm doing lectures for the Americans.
I had
but not a guided tour.
I had a Korean group.
I love this story.
Imagine the ditziest K-pop girl you can imagine in this universe, and she is their guide, and she absolutely couldn't stand me.
The only person we've ever seen that did not say, not only did they not say, can we have him as a guide, but they actually said, do you have somebody else other than him? I was like, oh my God, nobody says that. There we go. Okay, yeah. So it now the reconnecting thing seems to work. I just saw. So I don't know how long Karl was actually born a dark elf, but his parents raised him as a wood gnome. So basically, if you missed, I don't know where it cut off at, but the lady thought that Karl was too stiff. So how do we find any guy that's not professional? You get the anti-Karl, the exact opposite.
No, but
so I ended up guiding the Koreans. We laughed as a joke and going, hey, if they want a less professional tour, by all means, I'll give them one.
If I think I am too stiff, and I give them to virtually any other guide. So I give them to Greg, who will recite the stats for everything to them forever.
Yeah.
Or I give them to Holger, who has this German approach but knows everything. It would drive her absolutely up the wall.
Otherwise, they'd have a French guide, Polish guide. Runa maybe.
The only other person I thought about that could possibly pull it off is Marie.
Marie, but she's French, and she's good. She's really good though. But
she is. It's kind of in my arrogance.
She guided them as well.
I consider myself to be the best guide, but I would say behind me, and depending on time of day and mood, either Marie or Greg is kind of Marie or Runa. I mean,
Marie has like the feminist point or the women's right point.
Marie has ungodly amounts of energy.
Yeah, she does.
You will hear her screaming and smashing things when she is guided.
It's like being guided by a Valkyrie.
And she makes fun of people a little bit more extremely than I do, and it works for her.
No, it's because she's making fun of the French.
Yeah, but she also do that. She also do that when she's guiding a pure French group. I know what she does, and she is basically making fun of their lack of personal hygiene.
But even the French will agree with her. That's the funny thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. It works.
But yeah, she could probably pull that off.
There are things that some people can do that other people cannot.
Stian's coming.
So when
Stina is coming.
Karen or Angela tells a mother that if your kid does that again, we will keep him as a child.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's charming. If I do the same thing, I think it's kidnapping.
Yeah, this is true.
So there are some jokes I just don't do.
Nope, but there you go. Ren says, oh my God, I want her as a guide. Yeah, so look for the French guide, Marie. The thing is, there are guided tours because the regular opening hours in November when the Needle Binding Festival is from 10:30 until 2. From November 1st, we go half days. Lack of light. You just can't see anything after 2 o'clock. Anyway, look at the beautiful boat. But yeah, so that means there's a guided tour at 11 o'clock, 12, 1, and 2? No, 11 o'clock, 12, and 1. Is there only 3 or is there one at 11:30 as well? There's at least 3.
Well, there will be at least 3.
Yeah.
And at the hour, on the hour is certain. There might be an extra one in there somewhere. So depending it might be like 10:30, 11, 12, and 1.
We usually have an extra one because Tour of the Fjords is going. They come at a specific time, and then we let anybody join that one if they want to.
That might also cause us to do the 10 o'clock tour as a half-hour tour. Because Tour of the Fjords don't have that much time.
No, and people got to catch ferries. Yeah.
But we will it's hard to say because the pieces hasn't fallen yet, so to speak.
No.
We don't know.
But there's at least 3 guided tours a day in the winter anyway, and you can take Karl's tour, you can take Greg's tour, you can take Marie's or Runa, depending which one's on the schedule.
But we also have days off, and sometimes you have more than 3 guides and you only have 3 tours, and so on and so forth. So it's hard to guarantee anything.
No, but the festival's over 3 days, so you could choose.
Yeah, but the odds are pretty good that I am guiding at least some of the time during the festival.
Yep.
But nothing is certain, is what I'm saying.
Another thing is, but actually, I was going to say, everybody's guided tour is a little bit different. It's not a script that they're reading. They've each written their own tour. Some will borrow things. There's some things I borrow from your tour. There's some things I borrow from Marie's tour, for example, or Liga's tour. If they were a really good joke, and and it kind of passes around, but it's still uniquely your tour and their tour.
Yes.
Anyway, but another thing I was going to say. We were kind of laughing at the idea, but no, we absolutely need to do it. So Karl does not have a needle binding lecture, but he does have a lecture. And what did you call it? Because I want to get it right.
Viking warfare. What, why, and how. So
if you want to lecture, if you're like Torben and you're being dragged along by your wife, but you have to go because there was a promise of Warhammer at the end of the day, but you would like to hear a lecture about something that involves another kind of weapon than a needle, Karl is going to hold a lecture. We've decided this. You want to do the same one every day, or you want to test out the new ones, but you will have a lecture in the boathouse.
No.
And it will have to, unfortunately, be at the same time as the other ones, I think, but... but you could do it on Wednesday or on Friday when there are no lectures.
The logistics I leave completely up to you.
I'm making him do it, but he's going to be holding a lecture, and it's included in the needle binding.
As long as it doesn't interfere with my actual work, I can do it at any point.
Yeah, no, it doesn't because it's after 2 o'clock.
Like.
Yeah. No, but Friday would be a good day because we don't have the schedule set up for Friday. Friday is kind of stitch bitch, do your workshops and that kind of thing. And then on Saturday and Sunday we have the lectures. Some of them, let's see, Ingela Anderson, Sally Pointer, and myself might give the same lecture twice, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, in which case that might be one also. You could, but you should do yours once a day anyway, in the boathouse. So a total of 3. Yeah, and we could stagger the time or whatever, so you can show up for the Warhammer and listen to the lecture, or but I think that's going to be fun anyway. So you get Karl's lecture as well. And that's it's really good if you want to wield anything other than a needle. But it's really good other. Let's see. I was going to say, I saw Stina was in here. Hey, Stina. Stina is coming for the Needle Binding Festival, which is good. I haven't seen her in a while. She's one of our Vikings. Good. How many is that for you now? Of the disturbingly good licorice?
In this bottle.
Uh-oh. 16.4%, Karl.
Yeah, I know.
I'm drinking Outers. I'm on like glass 3. Mm-hmm. Let's see. So is the half an hour tour on 1.5 speed? Asks Nikki.
No, normally you have 5 stations. You do an introduction and then you go boat, society, textiles, weapons, gods. But when you have a half-hour tour, you drop 2 of them. And it kind of depends on which guide you have. If you have me, for half an hour tour, you will get both weapons, gods. Mm. If you have her, it will be introduction, textiles, look at the sheep, more textiles, and goodbye.
And the waterfalls. Don't forget the waterfalls. And that's a boat, by the way. They used an oak tree.
She can do more.
I'm not actually a guide, rarely. So if I do it, I'm a fly by the seat of your pants guide.
And it's also kind of a good point that the guide should play to their strengths.
Yeah, you'll get a really good textile.
I can tell you about textiles, but I can't really go in depth about textiles. Mm. And I don't like it, so I'm not particularly motivated. I'm a good and competent guide, so
3-hour tour.
So I can do a good presentation about textiles that is kind of funny. But if you want to keep me going for hours, weapons is the right place to do it, and to a lesser degree society.
That's basically this. It's just like me on textile. I could talk forever about it. Let the man drink his medicine, Karin. I'll guess who wrote that, by the way. But Nolvi is like, licorice liquor sneaks up on you. So no. It's a good thing we have to stay awake for a long time. And then there's Lindsay going laugh out loud. Music plays the 3-hour tour. The weather started getting rough.
This has actually happened. It happened to Rune not that long ago.
Yeah?
Somebody actually ordered a 3-hour tour.
Oh, that's true. No, they do. But the thing is, Runa's got another tour up his sleeve. But the thing is, that day he couldn't do it because they weren't able. One of them was wheelchair or something. So they couldn't keep up with it because he also has a fjord tour.
Fjord walk, yeah.
Like he'll talk about the history of Gudvangen in itself, not just the Viking village.
But I have done it. It's not exactly great. But my normal tour with no bells and whistles is 45 minutes. With bells and whistles, it's pretty close to an hour. Then I can integrate activities. That's another 20 minutes. And now I have to start pulling things out of my butt. But I know a lot of stories from the sagas, and just Egil Skallagrimsson can keep me going for another half hour. But what always happens when I have a 3-hour tour is that after the 2.5 hour mark, I start going, mountains. So what I do, my little trick, is that I take them to Holger's house. Because Holger has so many interesting little things lying around that I can basically go, by the way, this is a Viking fish trap. This is how the Vikings would catch fish.
Yeah.
The guy who made it is German. And unfortunately, it's completely illegal for a foreigner to fish with traps in Norway. So if he ever wants to fish with it, I have to sit in his boat and put my fingers on his fish trap and bless it with my Norwegianness so that he can fish with it.
Turn off your sound over there. Okay. I think this time it didn't give us the warning. It's echoing on the phone over there. I'm interrupting myself now. This time we didn't get the little note at the top. We just suddenly saw that the chat wasn't responding, or that said that the chat was disconnected, and thought that was weird. Okay, but the thing is now I don't know how far we were out. But
we've been talking for a while.
We were talking about a while. I was going to say it's good to see the chat was still chatting though, so they're keeping each other company, which is good. Holy crap. Yeah. Is the weather causing connection issues? Yes, definitely. Because there is no land. There's no land connection here. It has to be, but yeah, we have, when we have a lot of cloud in the sky, overcast, it tends to do that. But also because we're using Karl's link, because idiot here forgot her phone at the office, and somebody can bring it to me, but not until 2 hours after YouTube. So we're sending from his link, which is Bluetoothed to my PC. And yeah, long story short, yes, it's the weather. No, but I was going to say, there's actually quite a bit more chat here since it went. Let the man drink his medicine, Karin. We read that one. I want Karin, then says Nikki. She wants my tour. The babbling, fake it till you make it tour.
Yeah, but none of
the fluffy one. Look at the waterfalls. Look at. No, I can give you a lot of stupid facts.
Wrong.
No. I got some facts. I have to bounce off people.
But there are some subjects you probably should stay clear of if you ask her questions. But
it did come up. Okay, along the textile. So I had to give a lecture because Karl. This is what I was talking about when I thought we lost, but we probably lost way before then. Karl loses his voice. Greg loses his voice. Viking cruises come and they book a lecture, and Twirls promised this. People, it's part of their itinerary on their cruise ship. So it's like. She's like, Karin, you're up. You said you had a lecture. Can you try it? And I go, okay, but my lecture is needle binding related. And I haven't really had time to practice, but sure, what the hell, I can do this. And I look up, the Neil Price book, chapter 14, Viking, what was it? The golden age of the Viking sheep. He says farmer, but I'm just going to stop at sheep. The golden age of the Viking sheep anyway. Farmer. And I had to print out notes because that is a really good one. I've read it so many times, etc. But there are so many numbers shoved into that thing that I actually have to have it printed out so that I can keep track of the numbers. How many sheep does it take to make a sail, etc. And so as I was going through that, writing those little notes down so that I had them, then I realized it reminded me of the find in Surfton, Denmark in March this year, where they find a production facility finds. If you have looked that up, maybe it's a linen factory, etc. From the Viking age. But this totally, so where Neil Price leaves off saying, you can conclude that the amount of sheep that they would need for this, and this, they obviously must have been doing this on a really high level, a bit like they must have had some sort of production or industry out of it, etc. And where he lives off thinking, you can assume the find in Denmark proves it. It's almost like pure proof of it anyway. So then I quickly go and I Google that and look as much as I can and find of what they have written down about that thing. And it's amazing. So I go through those two things. Then I go into the wool and the plant dyeing that I normally do on the station wool as far as demonstrating, etc. Because my strong suit is not so much talking, at least I don't think so, but my strong suit is demonstrating because visual speaks volumes.
Yeah, but it's your talking combined with that.
It turns out the Americans like me because I talk and sound just like them. I don't know why.
Weird.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Scottish like me for the same reason.
But every time the Viking cruises comes, they seem to have a collection of people from a very sectioned part of United States. So, I mean, they are a little spread out, but there always seems to be a majority. Like one year it was a lot, the first one had a lot of people from Wisconsin and Michigan. It just happened to be that way. And then it had some here and there. And then the next one, I think, had a lot of people from New York area, etc. Yeah. And this last one had a lot of people from Albuquerque and Texas and this.
But I think it is people who buy together who know each other through church or through some
I think so,
common activity.
Yeah.
So
anyway, but they were fun. But as Turl put it, because she doesn't really watch the tours, so she just all she cares about is the guide said, "Yes, more." But the thing that what she's reacting to though, and she would call it, is because I can speak American. Not as in I can speak English, because he speaks English just fine, if you don't mind writing instead of rating, and see my domesticated writing Vikings.
I have a better vocabulary than you, woman.
Maybe not. I don't. Anyway, but when she says that, she's not referring to the English language, because I speak faster than him. It should be harder to keep up with me, but the Americans can because they're used to it. It sounds familiar to them, but what she's actually referring is I have the Americanisms.
Yeah.
Like but you're talking about what kind of textile do they produce in Denmark? Imagine Iowa. Oh, they know. Or things like that. Or you know what it's like to freeze. You're from Wisconsin. You've got cheese. And the only Vikings who ever had horns on their helmets came from Minnesota, etc. Karin says, my strong suit is not talking. And he's got like a big pink alligator with teeth on there. No, but anyway, it turns out I did well enough that she wants to, continue with at least for the Americans for a while. But at least I'm on the router. I'm on the, what is it? Not the router. I'm on the roster. Thank you. He speaks English great.
I have a better vocabulary than my American.
I'm going through menopause, you asshole. I can't remember what I did this morning and how to spell it. I mean, I probably am. I don't know. I'm 53. It's allowed. Stressing
around with two kids like a headless chicken is what you did this morning.
Yeah. This morning, yeah. Did I?
Yep.
No, it's because we were trying to get everything to go to Voss to get my kids on the train, etc. But I also didn't sleep very well because I have restless leg syndrome every once in a while. Probably because I'm fat and overweight and don't exercise. Yeah, and then she did too. So she was going, but for me, I couldn't get my legs to sit still enough to fall asleep. And then I'd finally pass out, and it's like 4:00 in the morning, I think. I don't know. And then I ended up sleeping really hard and had a hard time getting out of bed.
So I'm sleeping with the American Duracell bunny in my bed, and I have that little thing running around on the floor all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm sleeping like a baby.
Okay, I was gonna say, Stina created a new account now called Needle Binding Stina. I have to look that one up. Stina made a sweater that was for her kids when they were small, but those kids are probably they gotta be teenagers by now, I would think. Stina is actually from Celia, by the way.
Mm.
Yep. I think you met her once when
Yep,
we were
we met
visiting your
her
father.
at least twice, I think.
Yep. Ran into her at the grocery store. There. Max says he can't hear us, and then they say I hear just fine. Might need to be reloading the page. Yeah, but that might have been when it was screwed up. Let's see. Oh yeah, I wanted to go a little bit further back because there's a lot of chat where we were down here, and to try to get an idea of what we were left off at. Oh, Harold says, Nikki, bring back the internets. Maybe it's the Norns. Bluetooth. It's probably Bluetooth. Ren says, oh dear, but good to know. I better have my transportation to and from the event lined up ahead of time. It's yeah. At least don't miss your buses anyway. But it would be if you want to do it right. Plan to come on the 5th, so you have all day to screw around with it, and then the day before, then you have the 3 full days, and then use that day after to have.
I would say if you want something foolproof,
yeah,
and you're coming from Bergen, either take the train to Voss and then a bus to Gudvangen, or rent a car.
Or rent a car, yeah. But the driver thing was a good idea. It costs more, but yeah, she was already planning on doing that. It costs more, but their also, job is to cater to you.
It will cost more. That's the first thing. The second thing is that they won't be sitting around in Gudvangen and waiting for you for 3 days.
Ren says, are they having storms there? The whole music plays. You guys are really good at keeping each other company.
Are they having storms?
Come on, I'm awake today. I have to take my parents to the airport in a bit. I smell a 3-hour episode coming on. We're going to probably need to plug in the computer because of the issues. The thing is, when you play it back tomorrow, though, it's just gonna jump. Anytime where it stopped, you're not gonna have like the big long hold. It's just gonna be lots more chat and a jump. So it will it'll be great for Jay, who watches this back to back or watches these after. I mean, Audra sent me some photos. Torben sent me some photos. I had a wonderful chat with him earlier about something stupid I meant to re-show. Jay sent me something. I don't have to, but I don't have my phone, so I can't like send on the phone and then show you the screen, but it'll be fun to show it to you next week. There Karl comes on. Technical dick, we are trying. Not for kids. No, I tripped over difficulties and decided to roll with it. Yeah, technical dick. With the blessings of the Norwegians, says Albert, you are hereby allowed to fish with this trap internet dead. You were talking to that's now we know where it was. Thank you, Albert. You were talking about your 3-hour tours and going to the starting with Holger, and then I don't know how much more you had to say about that.
No, that's where it cut off. Right after I said that I could put my fingers on Holger's fish trap and bless it with my Norwegianness.
Yeah.
And he could fish with it.
Do you remember what we talked about after? I know we started talking about the lecture.
The way that works is that, formally speaking, it's no longer Holger fishing. Holger is helping me. I'm fishing. Mm-hmm. I'm Norwegian. Yep. I'm allowed.
That's, I think, where I came in and saying, yeah, no, I don't guide. I am not actually a guide. I can be in desperate needs, but it will be a kind of a fake it till you make it, and definitely heavy in the textile because you've got to play to your strengths.
But a 3-hour guided tour with somebody who's genuinely interested and asks good questions is easy. A 3-hour guided tour with somebody who's just in your face like this is a horrible nightmare that I don't wish upon my worst enemy.
No, but it's great when they ask questions. There's a bride. Kate Egge, she got married. They got married while they were in Norway anyway, and then they wanted to have their wedding pictures taken in Gudvangen. So I did her hair. Took a little longer than I was expecting, but because I hadn't worked with dreadlocks before, but it was quite cool. It went all really wonderful and everything. But I had so many hours built up that I had some time to actually putz around and make sure everything was going well for them. So I followed them along a little bit through their pictures and helped kind of keep the tourists away, because now it was much more crowded in the village before, and people aren't getting in the backgrounds of their photos. But actually her husband had a lot of interesting questions and things. He'd note the boat, and he said he was looking at the Viking boat, and then I'd come up and give him some random facts. I mean, they're correct. It's just that I have no spiel. You guys have like this big long spiel, but I don't. Anyway, but then it was, and they're like, wow, you just did like the most wonderful guided tour with him and everything. Took him to the chieftain's hall, showed him this, showed him the textiles, showed him the weapons, but because it was a conversation kind of thing. So that made it so much easier for me, at least if it's a conversation. Outer's laughing at something. Oh, the fish thing. Nikki says, hope I don't get the end of my green yarn and spin until it's too different. Kaya says, Karl, have you tried switching your Norwegian off and on again?
Quite regular.
Let's see. Stina must made a dress or something. They want to all see what it's posted. There it is. Oh, cool. I'm almost done with a dress for my daughter. And your daughter's she's got to be a teenager now, I think. She must have been 7 or something. I know she was like 4 or 5 when you made her a sweater, and that was well before COVID. She's gotten really good at needle binding. Maggie says, you really ought to have shared that pizza with my with YouTube and maybe the router as well. I just grabbed my null binding where you were negotiating the tech. Karl, there's still 2 pieces left. Stina, yeah, could you show the dress? They want to see it. And then Stina's got some information there as to where you can look her up. She's gonna have she's got a YouTube link too, or no, on Discord. Okay, maybe. Let's see. Then we're zooming a little bit forward, back. Woohoo! Fishing, says Karl. Kaya, that's where we're trying to wonder where we came off at. Yeah. The Omnish answered. It was Bluetooth. Rudisby says, Nikki, laugh out loud. I got yelled at my kid for not saying lol. Fair. I also started.
No, you got yelled at by your kids for saying lol.
Laugh out loud instead. Well, I'm reading their comments. It says laugh. No, I said laugh out loud. And they said, did you actually just say laugh out loud? It's LOL. I'm like, okay, but is this supposed to be LOL or one of those people that say lol? It means laugh out loud. Lol. That's the way the Norwegians say it. Lol. I also started knitting a sweater, says Redusby, and got bored with it before I started needle binding it. I'm about half done now. Oh no, only you need the patience of Audra. She's like achieved Zen level when it comes to needle binding because she's done more than one dress even. I did a blacksmith sweater and it took me 2 years. Let's see, zipping a bit fine. They were all hearing. Catching up. Max refreshed. Everything's working. Stina, no, that's the dress. Ren says, I'm so looking forward to this adventure. You guys are so much fun. I'm a little nervous about the transportation from into the airport. However, laugh out loud. We should you can almost start a post, I think, in the group for anybody with travel issues. Maybe you could meet up and travel together. You might have more people at the airport at the same time as you, for example, in Bergen.
If you come into the airport and you want to go to Bergen Centrum, you just go outside and down the stairs, and then you'll see a train that goes to Bergen Centrum every 14 minutes or so.
15 minutes.
They are very, very tight.
Yep. And you can't go wrong. Go to the end of the line.
Yeah. That's the simple way to do it, because the train station isn't obvious. But then you just start walking back along the line and you'll get to the train station. No, it will be obvious because it's a big motherfucking stone building.
They all look old. They're all big motherfucking stone buildings. What do you mean?
It's like train station on it.
But it's got the dead giveaway would be as soon as you walk through the entry, it's like train tracks.
Yeah.
You can walk right up to the train, but you can't get on it without a ticket, or if you do, you're going to get in big trouble. We've seen people get in trouble.
Yeah, and I check every time. There is no statistical chance of getting away with not buying the ticket.
No, you need to have a ticket. As a matter of fact, if you do get caught, you also get like a huge ass fine. That might as well be like 4 or 5 times the price of your ticket. So just buy the damn ticket.
And the odds of getting caught is close to 100%. So I wouldn't advise anybody to be tricky.
You can buy it through an app, or you can, the Vi app, vy.no. Or you can, I think they might have machines there.
With the buses and express boats, you can try to
then
be
you
tricky.
Can just pay
I would still recommend against it, because there is a chance of getting caught.
Yeah, but the buses and the express boats, you can just pay for them on the boat. You can go right up to the window or the driver and buy it.
You can also just go in and sit down, and if they try to sell you a ticket, you just go, yeah. Non habla español.
That doesn't work. They speak Spanish too.
Oh no, not on the express boat. You will find curious to speak Spanish, but you are claiming that you don't. So it won't help you.
Does the train go to the Viking village? No, it goes as far as Voss, which is 40 minutes away. But then you can take a bus that goes to Gudvangen. The bus and the train station in Voss are the same building,
Or if you
except for
want
the train
to,
tracks are up here and the bus is down here.
and if you want to do the scenic route, much more expensive though. You can take the train off to Myrdal and then take the Flåmsdalsbanen down to Flåm. And then you're 2 tunnels away from Gudvangen, and
There might be a shuttle bus, or you might have to take the ferry, but those schedules are a little tricky.
yeah. No,
but that's what I was saying. That's what Tour de Fjords does. Tour de Fjords, they could probably just book with them and get out at Gudvangen.
But even a taxi, when the distance is that short, shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, just judging. Can you bus from Bergen or Oslo? Hey, Corty's here. Corty86. Can you? The bus that goes from Oslo to Bergen and back takes E16, and we are on E16. Gudvangen.
Yeah.
As soon as you get out, if you're coming from Oslo, the second you get out of the Gudvangen tunnel, get off the damn bus and you're there. If you're coming the other way, you can see Gudvangen anyway. It's a big sign.
This might be my bias against buses, but first of all, you have to not fall asleep.
No.
Because if you fall asleep, you will wake up.
The bus will just keep right on going.
Somewhere else in Indre Sogn, and then finding your way back might be difficult. I really recommend the train to Voss and then the bus.
But the bus will tell you at what time they're going to be at different parts, so you can plan on. It's a 6 hour bus ride at least from Oslo to Bergen.
Yes,
but you want to get out on hour 4.
We are here assuming somebody is mildly jet lagged and coming off a plane. Yeah. I would say take the train.
Yeah, but if you have a conversation with your bus driver, although some signs specifically say do not talk to the bus driver because they're trying to focus, etc. But usually they're pretty helpful and will kind of let you know. But you don't want to rely on them stopping. They're not going to say, "Hey, this is Gudvangen. I remember you back there had a ticket." No. They most likely won't. But it does stop. And then Gudvangen, I put a picture on the Facebook event, the Gudvangen Nalbinding Festival. I put a picture of Gudvangen, and it's just a triangle. It would take you 15 minutes to walk around that triangle. That's it. And that's if you're walking practically backwards.
There is...
so you can't... If you get off at the bus stop there, it's if you even go the wrong way around the triangle, you'll get to your hotel or the village.
Many ways of to get to Gudvangen, up to and including renting a helicopter from Bergen. But if you want cheap and fairly simple, train and bus combo.
Yep. But yeah, as Ron was saying, that's another concern. At that point, I would be on a red-eye flight with one connection traveling for about 14 hours. Yeah, you will. We are 2.5 hours from Bergen. So imagine you can probably sleep 2 hours, no problem.
Yeah.
But that kind of thing.
But if you're that jet lagged, you might wake up in Oslo and then you have an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Enjoy the city while you're there. It's a lot more populated than Gudvangen. Gudvangen is very small. November, there's not much going on in Gudvangen except for the Viking village and the needle binding festival. So bring your craft project with you. You'll have plenty of peaceful crafting time. So
bit more
if lost, call Karl or Karin or me, says Torben. That's right. Torben said he had some space in his car from Voss. Depends which day you're going though, or which day and what time you're going. But I think in the needle binding at the Gudvangen Nalbinding Festival event page, I think we can make a post or something. It would be nice if they could have a little separate group, but anyway, maybe where you can keep track of who's going to come from where at what time, and maybe you guys can ride share. Like if somebody's going to be taking a taxi, instead of one person in the taxi, they can get 4 in the taxi. Because if you're all planning on coming on the 5th, for example, then obviously you're all going to be at the same point at one point or the other. There are actually quite a few coming in from the United States. I was surprised to see all over the United States too, from Missouri, Boston, Minnesota, a couple from Minnesota. California, I think even, and then there's some coming from Belgium and Spain, Holland, I believe, Denmark. Maria Lind Hill is coming. That I meant to say. Maria Lind Hill is coming. If you know who she is, she's pretty much the whiz behind all the Nalbinding Facebook groups, all the different ones. The one for Norwegian, the one for German. She created them all anyway. And then she makes some PDF tutorials that you can either download or little booklets that are very specific. Okay, you already know how to needle bind. This is how you make a sock. That kind of thing. And then she's done them, and she's gotten them translated in many different languages. You can get them in Spanish, French she's working on, I think, German, obviously Danish and Norwegian and Swedish and English. And we do have those in the shop, but she's going to be there, and she's going to bring her booklets with her as well. Radisby's going to go too, so they're coming from Sweden. But yeah, Ann Decker's coming from Maryland. Ingela's coming from Sweden. I forget where exactly in Sweden she's from. Sally's coming from England. Yeah. Anyway, so but maybe we get a little post up there if you're looking for a ride share or something, or you could even maybe under the map or something. But I think if I make a specific post, Gudvangen, meet up and travel, maybe you guys can talk to each other or something in the comments to see the most scenic way to get there. Probably E6. Well, the most scenic way to get there would be the ferry, or actually the Flomsbana, going up to Myrdal, taking the Flomsbana down through Flom, and then taking the ferry from Flom to Gudvangen. Rather than the shuttle bus. That would be very scenic because then you're coming in via the fjord.
Yeah, no, that would be an impressive tour. But
it would be an impressive tour, but it'd be a costly tour probably.
And it would also be you spending 3.5, 4 hours extra.
Yeah, but if you do that on the day before, if you do that on the 5th, you wake up in Gudvangen then.
Whoops.
You ejaculated licorice all over your pants.
Yeah, I did.
It's time to wash the pants, Karl.
Yeah, I don't think this is making it much worse, but I'll go and have a cigarette and
you are not finishing.
Wipe my legs around.
It's down to here. You need to eat some more pizza. Oh, but anyway, that way maybe we can find something like that. I know that some people are renting a car. Some people are renting a Karl car. There's Freudian slips going left and right, by the way. But yeah, there's a lot that
would be expensive,
right? Renting a Karl would be expensive. 2,500 kroner per hour, according to my boss. You can rent a Karl. The ferry. Geez, I don't know. I actually never took the ferry from Flom to Gudvangen. From Flom to Gudvangen, driving or taking the shuttle bus is like 20 minutes. It's just through 2 tunnels. But the way the tunnel goes is it cuts through the mountains, obviously, so it gets there like a straight line. You go Aurland, Flom, Gudvangen. But if you are taking a ferry, then it goes Aurland, Flom, or it goes from Flom to Aurland and then Backa, etc., Underdal, Gudvangen. It'll because it goes around the mountains anyway. So I'm not sure how long that takes, but I know that the ferry goes at least twice a day. Nikki says I think a catapult would be epic as a travel method. You're not wrong, because you can actually with Skyvas probably set up for a helicopter to drop you off midair, and then you can just parachute down. They do that too. I don't know how popular that would be in the winter with ice crystals forming on your parachutes, but could be done. See, there's Torben saying it can be arranged, but he's actually talking about a catapult because he and Karl built one once. Nikki says she used to skydive. She can handle it. Yeah, you can actually skydive in Gudvangen. And the people in Voss, they do some skydiving right there. They'll go up to take the gondola up, which is above the train station, actually, like above the train station though, and then they jump off there and parachute down. But you can also book helicopters and hiking all the way up there, up to the top of the mountains here, like right over our heads, literally, and then just skydive down. The train from New Zealand doesn't exist yet, so I can't make it. Lindsay's still waiting for teleportation. Karl?
Yes?
We were talking about the skydiving route because somebody made a joke about catapulting there. And then you have to come closer for this part. Okay, Outer's wine is hitting me now. Getting giggly all over the...
Yeah.
So Nikki says, I mean, I'm really seriously starting to consider catapulting there. And then there's Torben. That can be arranged. Would you like to tell that story real quick? Because Berta was asking for a Karl story. a while ago, but I mean, while the internet is hot, Karl.
Let's see, it was me, Torban, Sten, Vemund, and maybe some other guys. Besides
Stop killing my coach.
the first one, and I believe it was Torban's idea, but I'm not entirely sure, was to build a trebuchet.
Mm-hmm.
Trebuchet is the it kind of operates on the principle of leverage. It's a medieval siege engine that has you have an arm that is resting on a fulcrum or a tipping point, and generally you have the length that goes past the tipping point is 1 unit, and the throwing arm is 5 units. And then you have a really heavy weight at the end of the throwing arm, at the end of the pulling arm, and then you have a lighter projectile in a sling at the back of it. So we are underneath, there is a parking garage underneath the Studentheimen where not all, but quite a lot of the students in Sogndal live. And we started working there with some scrap we found lying around. We find a flagpole. The flagpole turns out to be a great throwing arm. Then we used big vats of water as the counterweight. And then we used a smaller vat of water as the actual projectile. And to make the sling, we used the baggage bit of a bicycle and put at the end of the flagpole. And then we put some straps of some sort at the end of that. While we are working, another friend of us, who is kind of a traveling security guard in Sogndal, so he's responsible for the physical safety of everything. He sees what we are doing and goes, "Oh, that looks really fascinating. I should probably keep an eye on this." So he comes over and stands there talking to us and going, "Okay, so how does this work? Is this a medieval siege engine? What are you doing?" And we build the thing, and then we decide, okay, we can't really fire it here because we are basically in a parking garage right underneath the student dormitory, and there are like parked cars and stuff everywhere. So we decided to take it down to what's called Lærumskaia. Everybody in this part of Norway knows what Lærum Soft is. It's a brewery that makes mostly lemonade.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the brewery, but a juice. Yeah, they make juice.
They make different things, but okay, let's call them a juicer then. They make lemonade for the most part, but they also make some other things. So we stop right outside of their gates, and this is an actual factory, so they have an actual guard gate with the glass roof. An important detail. So first, and here I have to admit that my mathematics were completely squiggle fucked.
I love that term.
I didn't think about the very fucking obvious concept that the weight on the counterweight side has to be a lot heavier than the weight of the projectile and on the other end. So I just do the simple mathematics. Weight times the length of the arm equals weight times length of the arm. So I basically make a, what do you call these things in English?
Teeter-totter.
Yeah, teeter-totter?
Yes.
It has to be another word.
No, it's called a teeter-totter.
Too silly.
It is silly. It's
But yeah,
teeter-totter.
I made one of those things because I put it in balance. And then it occurs to me that, oh no, this has to be heavier because it has to actually throw the thing. So we empty out half of the water in the little can that is the projectile, and we add 4 more cans to the right side. And now it is so heavy that it takes Torban, me, Sten, the security guard, and everybody else to basically just pull the bloody thing down
You
so
have the
that we can
security
load
guard
it.
in on this?
He isn't actually in on it, but he is kind of in on it.
Is he still working there anymore, or did he lose his job after this?
He didn't lose his job, but he was really, really worried about just that because of what's about to happen. And then obviously the sling has to release when the arm comes up. The sling has to release at about here. This is tricky. And I'm working with, let's call it non-standardized equipment. It's the baggage part of a bicycle and some straps. So I just make a best guess type of thing. And the first projectile goes straight up into the air. And then it comes down like 4 or 5 meters from the glass roof of the guard building to Lærum Saftfabrik. Now the security guard is really starting to get... Fuck! Guys! We can't do this!
Seesaw is another name for it.
We are using a siege weapon in Sogndal Centrum. We can't! And we go, calm down. We have to get it to work at least once. So we adjust it a little bit. And then we shoot the projectile way the fuck out into the fjord. And then we go, okay, we have no more projectiles. This wasn't really well thought through, was it? And then we find a volleyball lying around somewhere. And we put that on the thing and we shoot that way the fuck into the fjord. And then we go, okay, out of projectiles. What now? So we just pack it down and hide it in a bush somewhere in Kaupanger. And as far as I know, it's still there. And a little bit, we called this contraption Lady Die, spelled as die. A little bit later, Torben and Magnar comes over when I'm extremely tired. And goes, hey, we had such fun with trebuchet, so we decided to build a ballista. Do you want to come and see? And we go out to the football field at Kaupanger and shoot broom handles straight across the football field. That was also kind of cool. But that thing wasn't really a ballista. It was more of a thingamajig that holds physiotherapists' rubber bands. Because in some kind of physical therapy, you push against rubber bands to basically strengthen your muscles. Mm. And these rubber bands are enormously powerful compared to the ones you find in your kitchen. And when you take like 67 of them and twine them together, you get an enormously powerful spring. So just to load this contraption, it took the full strength of Torben and Magnar to pull it back. And then we had this locking mechanism that locked it into place. And then it is basically screaming at you because it is under extremely high tension. So the thing is going until you fire it, which made me very, very worried. But the broom handles flew like nobody's business.
I have to catch up a little bit on chat here. There's some more... You talk about the cat. I might have been drinking a little bit. Stina says, you talk about catapult, and the cats go, yeah. I was going to say, you talk about the cats, and the catapult goes meow. And then I'm like, no, that's not right. I have to read it. And then Donna's here, by the way. Donna Smith is here. She says, I think I need to pour a glass and catch up. Yeah, no, I've finished Outer's bottle, but I have another one of these. So, but I don't think I should have any more today. I do have to work tomorrow. Ren says, in Vermont, we have a pumpkin chucking event where tributes are used to launch pumpkins across the field. The furthest pumpkin wins. They did that at Homer Medieval Festival with bags of flour. Actually, they have this big trebuchet that you can launch and to see who can get the furthest one. Or maybe they were using watermelons. I'm not sure.
This is something that would be really fun to have in a place like Sogndal with all these tourists. The problem now with all these students, the problem is that the students in Sogndal absolutely, completely, horribly sucks at science. They are people who want to be sociologists, people who want to be teachers, people who want to be...
Viking guide.
That sort of thing. So, the science at the Teachers Academy was basically at an easier level than what I did in 9th grade. It was boil some water. in my defense, my background is chemistry and chemistry laboratory. So when I get the instruction, boil some water, it is like, exactly how much water do you want me to boil? You can give me to the fifth point of the decimals in milliliters, and I'll get it to you correctly. Like, what are you talking about? Just put some water in your bowl and boil it. Okay.
Audra says, Karen, more wine next time. I have it like, oh, the smoke alarms are going off again. It's definitely got to have some density in the air. It's the weather. It's not like stormy or anything. It's just dense weather. The air is really dense. No, I still have another one of these bottles anyway, and I think I might have one more in addition to that. And then I have the cherry wine from Christoph. I can also drink too, so it should hold. It'll make it till November. I think. Let's see. Yeah, Lindsay and Torben say seesaw, but okay. And then Prudence says they call it a seesaw. Nikki says seesaw. Celia came to play. Hello, Celia. So why do I say teeter-totter? Is this a Minnesota thing?
Probably Minnesota.
I need to Google it, but then I have to go in a different window, so that's not happening. But no, I mean, I do recognize the word seesaw, but it seems like so 1950s for me. Because I probably only read it in Disney books or something from the 1950s, but we say teeter-totter. What do they call it in Norwegian?
Hot dish.
No, not the tater tots. That's something completely different, but very good on a hot dish.
Vippehuske.
Vippehuske. Nej.
Yep.
Vippehuske.
Yep.
That's not what I was calling it. There's another word for it in Norwegian that I learned in Oslo, or when I was...
Oh, bokmål. That's not Norwegian.
Yeah, and bokmål. You know, like what the rest of Norway speaks.
Slurefant?
Nej, det heter ikke det. It's not what it's called. I will remember this. It's probably somewhere because I'm further down on the chat here, by the way. I have to catch up a little bit. Karen, are you having a needle in your hair? Says, yeah, close. It's like a needle binding needle without a hole. Sorry. There, this is so hard to use this
she uses
camera thing. There you go.
To stab me in the face every time when she gives me a hug.
It's my weapons of mass destruction. There is there it is. There's like, I don't know if you can see it off there. It's kind of broken at the tip. There used to be a little, like a ball at the top of it, but it wasn't. It was just like a little carved. There was a ball on the end of it anyway, and then it was just kind of formed like you would a wood carving, etc. It wasn't an actual ball they put on the end, but that at some point hit the right angle on the floor, etc. And I don't know if you can see it there. It kind of cut off, but it still works. But yeah, I used to use hair ties in my hair, but then it would break off around here. So if I use a hair stick, there's nothing to get it caught in. I feel like I have hair sticking up there. I do. Yeah, no, it's a look. Anyway, no, we actually sell those in the store too, by the way. Kaya says, Karl, nee, Carla, meow. Let's see. But actually, yeah, if you have a pretty strong needle binding needle, you could use it as a hair stick. Has been done, but make eventually, like bone, it will it'll get warm, obviously, when you use it, when you're using it a lot because it's in your hand or in your hair, etc. And the same thing with horn, especially with horn, they will start to bend a little bit with the heat from working it. So eventually, if I tend to always, this is that needle from Kaylee, by the way, who, by the way, I want to announce is coming to the Needle Binding Festival, but I just need to make 100% sure. But she's planning on doing it. She's getting kits together, etc., that she can bring her needle binding kits as well and come and participate. So I will put that up in about a week. I just have to double check that she was actually able to do it. Anyway, this is a gift that she brought when her cruise ship came through. She was one of the few groups I've actually guided, but only part of it. Because they were coming earlier in the morning than I thought, and Genius over here and your comrades at Arm were all sick, so I had to make the day plan. and I didn't want to tell Runa that at midnight, pretty much, that he had to come 30 minutes earlier than I thought for his group. So I started the tour, took him to textiles, and then he picked it up and carried on. But that's the fun thing about you and Greg and Runa. And Rogert. You've been there long enough to know my spiel. You've heard the whole textile talk, so you know exactly what I cover and where to continue. So that was nice.
Plus, as shift leader, I've done exactly the same thing probably 50 times.
Did you really? Yeah. Did I have to?
If I don't catch that the group is coming before 10 o'clock until it is too late to tell people,
Yeah.
then I have that group.
Yeah, except the thing is, I didn't need to make her group suffer through the other stations with me. But it also kind of helped that it was actually Kaylee's group too, because Kaylee's there for the textiles. So that was kind of fun. Anyway, so hopefully we'll get to announce that she's coming for sure, but I'm pretty sure she is. Nikki says she's channeling her inner Pebbles Flintstone. That's right. The pumpkin chunkin, I can't say that. Pumpkin chunkin is hilarious, says Lindsay. Except for, don't you want to eat the pumpkins? They're really good. Pumpkin soup is amazing.
Yeah.
Styrian pumpkin soup.
I was actually, when I was a student in Sogn, I was thinking of making competition like that.
Were you?
Then it occurred to me that if I do that, the teams that would compete would be the people on idrettslinja.
Yeah.
The people who want to be kindergarten ants. The people who want to be sociologists. And the people who want to be teachers. It would be such a shit show. None of them would be able to do anything practical or do anything with mathematics and physics.
Hand me that bag over there. I gotta plug in the computer.
This
the cords. Yep. Don't lose the little blue bag. I need that. That's the buttons. I had to make crochet my kid a monkey, and I did. I finished it just in time. I took a picture of it. Can't see it obviously, but I didn't remember to put the button eyeballs on it, so I have to do that when we're in Oslo. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Catching up some more on chat here. Prudis says, Torben says, I'm planning to build a chicken eater. I'm tired of chasing them around when it's time for bed. That's right. He became a chicken daddy. He had like 10 chicks, I think, something like that. If I scroll back, I can find it. He mentioned it earlier. So yeah, he's tired of chasing them around and it's time for bed. He's talking about his kids.
I saw newborns. Like
I did, and you know where they were?
No.
They were over by house 2, which is like pretty much in the entrance, which is like the opposite end of the village of where the chickens are.
Yep.
I've not really seen them. I mean, the tiny chicks coming that far. Look at that. See, the battery warning came up. I knew it was going to come up.
When you feed the fuckers everywhere, I think they live everywhere.
Yeah, but I've not. Usually the moms don't take the chicks that far out. I mean, that's...
No, they might have been born there.
That's like a football field away.
They
could have been born there. Yeah, no, they were starting to build nests in the troll's vagina. That's... What did you call it? Because I thought for sure you said it was a troll's vagina. They built this thing at the end of the village, this really cool structure with clay and wood stumps, and it looks amazing because we needed an extra archery station, and in order to do an extra archery station, you had to shoot towards the fjord. Of course, naturally, you don't want to do that because if it goes wrong, there's a playground on the other side and a bunch of kayakers. They would not like to get an arrow in their head anyway, so they built this kind of a cave thing that goes downward so that you have to shoot down the cave. You can't possibly shoot out of the way anyway. But then they put the big holm target at the end of it, and to support it, they used big bales of hay to support it up in there. The chickens love the hay. They think it's a great place to lay eggs. And there was like this huge horde of dragon eggs in the troll's vagina. It looks like a troll's vagina.
What I called it was Fjallar's wooden vagina.
Fjallar's wooden vagina, and I called it a troll's vagina.
Yep.
Okay. Close I think maybe enough. Roger said that on YouTube. But okay, so it's Roger's vagina. Roger doesn't have a vagina.
No, but he built it.
But he built it. He had some help from Thomas, though.
Yeah,
Tomas.
You know who's the architect and who is the grunt when it comes to those two.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Some more. There are, Lindsay says there are groups based on different sources of power because the trebuchet really can't hold a candle to something rocket powered. Pruda says, Torben, have you seen Farming While Beige and his chicken yeeting? I have no idea what that is, but now we have to look that up. Nikki says, chickens are so funny. We have one in the car park at work, and now we have a chicken. We call her Hi or Maori for chicken, but also Dumb Bird for Moana, from Moana. She's super nosy. Torben says, oh no, he translated bookmall Danish gets translated to Danish. It took me a while to realize that I actually have to mouse over this little translate icon because it just says Torben just says Danish, and I'm like, what? And then there's a translate thing. So if I mouse over it, it says what he wrote. Bookmall equals Danish.
Yep. And
Li precis.
The automatic translating is doing it correctly. It translates it to Danish.
Yeah. See? I guess so. Torben says, is that what's it now? What is it now, guy? For Peruda, and she says, yep, it is. Okay, so we know what that is now. He says, he really yeets those chickens. Okay, what the fuck? Yeets. Nikki says, me going to the internets for chicken yeeting. We're missing some yeeting here. I don't know what that
means. Throwing.
Throwing. You're throwing chickens? Like the rubber ones, I hope, like.
You really don't know English.
Yeeting? That has got to be a YouTube term. What the hell?
It might be a millennial term.
It might be a millennial term, but I don't think.
But it is a very, very commonly used term.
I've never heard of yeeting before.
Is there anybody who isn't Karin who didn't know that yeeting was throwing? You is Karin.
Oh, I know it is. I mean, now I know it's me, not that I know it's yeeting. Can't you just say throw like a normal person?
No, not
Chuck. Chuck works. Our chickens don't like me, says Torben. I'm the Axeman. Maybe that's why. We had to do the Axeman around COVID. Runa was the Axeman. He hated that job. But the chickens were really good. We ate them. No, but we have to. I mean, it's crowd control. We have way too many. And then, of course, if you have a rooster, you can't have too many roosters. It's not good. We have to try to either trade them out for another rooster or chicken fricassee.
Number of roosters. That doesn't work.
Yeah, he says we now have 31. Kaya says, Torben, you are the Grim Reaper to them. Nikki says they probably laid their eggs there secretly. No, they definitely did. In the troll's vagina, of course. But because it's like this big pile of hay, it was like the perfect spot. The other places they prefer to lay the eggs in the village because the cooplas just admit it's getting too crowded, so we have to do some culling. They go behind the house too.
The sheep's food.
Yep.
The big grill we never use.
The big grill, we had chicks running around in there in the beginning, but we didn't notice it until it was too late.
The smokehouse that we rarely or never use.
Yep.
And I'm sure there are photo places I haven't thought of.
Yeah, they were doing it in the behind the boat as well. The where we were throwing all the composting.
And that's the smokehouse.
They were also over behind in the old garden that they had behind house, the blood house. Yep. From back there.
I think more than chickens have been.
But the ones under the grill, by the way, when I say we didn't notice it until it was too late, it wasn't that we didn't grill them, because the grill was like this high, but it was in like this box thing off the ground, so it's like this high off the ground anyway, and they're way down in the bottom. But we could see through the top of the grill that there's these little chicks running around. We're trying to figure out how do we lift up this big wooden thing to get them out and feed them, or to make sure that they actually have food because they're really far away from their food at that point. But I don't know if any of those actually survived. I think by the time we had noticed that they were there and moved them, it was kind of too late.
I don't remember that. But
I would think it's a small amount that survived anyway.
Chickens were born there, but I don't know what they're.
Yeah, no, we were looking through the grill and we're like, oh my god, there's little chickens running around in there, but we didn't use this grill, of course. It was the Viking grill. So it's only used twice a year.
It shouldn't be that bloody hard to open. So from you noticed them until they were out, it probably took like 1 hour or 2.
Yeah, hopefully. And we just heard this chirping going, where in the hell is that coming from? Maggie says, yeeting is modern slang for ripped out, throw away. If you've never thought just throwing. You hear that? Modern slang.
Yes.
I live in the Viking age. I have an excuse.
Yes, but nobody spoke American English in the Viking Age, so all of it is modern crap.
I'm going to include my new fluffy tour to continue on down to the chickens, going, here's the chickens. We don't eat them. No, it's good. You know what's another cool thing too, or funny thing too? I swear to God, I thought my kid was typoing. Every time she says a message and she needs to say yes, she writes bet. And I thought, well, okay, that's got to be a typo or something, or an autocorrect. She just says bet, but she's doing it more and often. And then Alex is sitting next to me when she comes, and I'm like, what the hell is bet? Cecilia keeps retyping bet to the point that I'm starting to think that that's not a typo. You don't know what that means, Mom? It's like, it means yeah.
You,
sure,
the Minnesotan, should understand this.
I know. We actually write out you betcha, or even
Yeah.
at shortest is called you bet, but we don't just bet.
That's the short form of that.
But it's already got a short form, and you have to like you bet, just bet. It's like bet what? How much you want to bet? And you went 5, 10, 15, 20. I mean,
It's as short as saying yes, and it is.
it makes no sense to me. You bet, yeah. You want to help me out in the garden? You bet. You want to mow the lawn? You bet. You want to clean up the cat poop? You bet you do.
It's your language. You should master
I say
it.
you betcha. I mean, geez, Louise. It's you betcha.
You're doing the same thing. You're just doing it more complicated.
No, because the actual is you bet yourself that I will, and we just make that you betcha, and then eventually just you bet. But you have to have you
and then eventually bet.
No, millennials
Yes.
fuck everything up. No. So apparently it's a YouTube thing. Do you know what it means to yoink something? I remember in Scooby-Doo they would say yoink. That would be the yank, I would guess.
Yeah, yoink or pull
Yank,
out.
yank or pull out. Yeah, yoink. If you yoinked it out, yeah, that would be. We had that in the 80s. Oh my God, Karen's going to short circuit with these new words. I'm gonna make up my own fucking new words. I'm gonna make you all learn them.
I'm the Norwegian.
And only the people in the YouTube group will know.
I'm the Norwegian with better vocabulary in English than my American girlfriend. Cheers.
Yet I get to guide the Americans because they get me.
And you also get the Koreans. Whoop-de-doo.
No, I don't get to guide the Americans. I get to give a lecture to the Americans. No. No, actually, it's kind of nice to have a little extra on the roster. Plus, this is something I don't normally do, so it's maybe twice a month I get out of the office, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, no, but out of everybody working on that, you are the most potato of potatoes.
I am a potato. Do you want to explain what a potato means? This is a new term. If you don't know what a potato is, it's a very Norwegian slang term.
It basically means you can be used for anything.
Yep. Potatoes go with everything. So if you are a potato, you can pretty much go with anything.
Sure that the Polish and the Irish have a similar term because they love potatoes like nobody's business.
We call it jack of all trades in English. I'm a jack of all trades. But I've never heard the term
the full quote
potato.
Is jack of all trades, king of none. So you're not really good at anything, you just can do everything.
I never liked you anyway. Dick. Outer says, chickens laid eggs on the table by my house. Oh, number 6. That's right. They're originally laying them there too. It's kind of like you don't have to go and pick the eggs anymore. They'll bring them to you. So house number 6 also has the nice fire pit with the place to fry the eggs and boil the eggs too. Actually, I think they were also doing it by the other archery range too, because they like the sand. At least they kept going there at this.
The last one, at least, I think, is a case of a mother actually taking care of her own children, which is pretty unusual when it comes to chickens.
She only had 3 though, so I don't know how many the original.
Yeah, but they're completely identical and
they're very identical.
And she is mostly black, so I'm pretty sure she is the mother.
Yeah, black with gray underneath. Yeah. Torben says she doesn't know what yeet means because she's past 50. I'm trying to read. Got a message from the eye doctor. It's been 3 years. You think you want to come in? I can't read the message, otherwise I would. No, I should do that. Maggie says, be nice, Torben. I'm 61. He's still a young thing. Of course, she means me, but I'm still a young thing. Yes. Karl, on the other hand, he just turned 50. About 6 months ago.
But I'm still keeping up to date. So I'm still hip with the youth.
It's one of my favorite things to tell in the village. You know, Karl? That's right. He's mine. Yep, I know he looks older than me by a lot, but he's actually 3 years younger than me. And like, no. It's because I don't have the gray beard. I shave mine. Nikki says, now you are old, Torben. I am 2 years younger. Torben says, nah, she's old. I'm only 47. And then Nikki says, nope, I'm younger than you. It's a competition. Master of none, says Kaya. With the no. Maggie says, oh, I like that one. I've called myself a potato based life for years. Potatoes can do anything. Exactly. They go with everything. Nikki says, I thought potatoes were Germans. Ich bin Kartoffel. Kartoffel is also the Danish word for potatoes.
Yeah.
In Norwegian and in Norwegian it's potet, and
but that happens when
Swedish is potatis.
When you lose too many words to people, you start to talk like them.
Yep. Oh, come on. Outer says, a small potato. Wait, that's translated. I got to do the translate thing. Eine kleine Kartoffel, a small potato. Hush, Nikki says, Torben, the grown-ups are talking. And Nikki said, I had such yum potatoes yesterday with salmon. See, now Nikki's going the right way. She's turning this into, potatoes.
Does she also have Polish blood?
She's New Zealand.
Yeah, but does she also have Polish blood?
Oh, she's a Kiwi. Maybe. I don't know. Karl wants to make this a joke because I keep picking on him, so he thinks that he's got to pick on the Polish in my genes. What I'm about, as the Americans would say, I'm a 75% Polish, 25% German with some mix in there. But my family, the family I know, is also
no matter
Poland.
What we have for dinner. If it is a New York strip, or if it is ribs, or if it is some kind of hamburger, Karin will say, oh, I have this cash pink potatoes. I'm wondering if this New York strip would go well with that. Because she thinks potatoes is the main dish.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's our Polish blood.
You saw what I had to do for my kids? Hey, we're going to have hot dogs with okay, can we have mashed potatoes with it? Sure. And you thought it was wrong when I bought 4 family packages of mashed potatoes for 4 people.
And then you weird little goblins just eat the mashed potatoes, and the sausages are still here the next day.
Yep, the sausages are still in the hot dogs are still in the fridge. The potatoes were gone 2 days ago.
Yep.
4 family packages of potatoes.
Polish blood.
Bet. I can do this. See what Pruda says. You're all crypt keepers. I'm only 42. That makes you the answer to everything in the universe. Douglas Adam would be pleased. Donna says, oh shit, I'm older. Oh, no. We're aged. We're allowed to drink. Karin, you look 35. Must be the potatoes. Oh, it's the collagen of fat. If I were to lose weight suddenly, I would definitely look my age. I would definitely. No, the telltale signs are right behind the ears. There's a little bit of wrinkle there up here. Then you can see it. And the hair, because the gray is now starting to, it used to be on the top, but now it's starting to come down to the front. My
Does
gray
the
hair.
Viking village, except for maybe Greg, do we have anybody in their 30s?
Oh, probably the shop people, but as the guides, maybe Marta?
I would say the shop people look like they are in their very best mid-20s.
What about Adon? I know Juan is older than Adon, but Adon, is he still in his 30s?
Yeah, Juan could probably
he might be in his 30s. The fighters, yeah.
But it's like...
But Juan doesn't look that old either. I think he's just prematurely
We have a lot
gray.
of people under 30, and we have a lot of people over 40. But right in between there, I don't think there is a lot.
No, but it's like Viking kids. The Viking, you get a lot of Viking kids, and then they turn 12.
Yep.
And unless they like blacksmithing, they pretty much disappear and start coming back around 16, 17.
Fighting can also keep them around.
Fighting can keep them around, yeah.
But blacksmithing and fighting are typically boys'
Yeah,
activities.
exactly.
So we generally lose all the girls
Yep.
from, I would say, 13 to 17.
Yep, because suddenly it's not cool to be Viking anymore.
Yeah.
We do cosplay.
But they come back at 17, 18, around that.
They do, yeah. Then we start getting, and when when in their 20s, they start coming back again for sure.
But it's like when a girl has been Viking the whole summer and she comes back to her friends and I ask, okay, what did you do this summer? And she tries to explain what needle-binding is. It's a lot less cool than somebody telling, no, I made a sword and then I fought this weird French guy with it.
Mm.
The other boys will probably think that's a little bit cooler than needle-binding.
Yeah. Maggie says, Pruda is the answer to the universe and everything. See the Douglas Adams things. And then Audra is playing with it, is doing the translation. Det blir någon potater i November, which is actually translated straight over to there will be some potatoes in November.
That's a correct translation.
She made us some pink ones. They were good. Nikki, Maggie says, Nikki, if they have potatoes at the kids' table, I'm in. I would too. Potatoes are the best. The only time I'm not really liking potatoes is in potato salad with raw onion.
Okay, but that's because you don't like raw onion.
Yeah, but the potatoes I think are a little slightly al dente too, for some reason, and then the cream thing doesn't really go with it. The sauce potato. Not a big fan of potato salad. Oh, but then my kids reminded me of something because Cecilia, when she goes to order at the diner, my boss gave us some coupons to go to the diner for all the extra work I had to do while he was dead. Thank you, by the way. So Cecilia's like, I want the meatballs or the shirtcocker anyway with the brown sauce and the potatoes, but I don't want the mashed peas, which is something that you always have to have with it. But okay, fine, which is actress doing, by the way. Mushy peas, I think you can call it. Anyway, but what would you like instead of that? I want potatoes, but you have potatoes with it. Yes, but I would like potatoes with my potatoes. So she was hoping they'd still have the potato wedges, and then she wanted mashed potatoes with it.
Polish blood.
So she wants potatoes with the potatoes, and then Alex is like, I totally get that. I understand the potatoes with the potatoes. It would really be good if they had like baked potatoes and mashed potatoes, she's taking her potatoes and she's dipping them in the mashed potatoes and eating them. It was great. I'm like, twice baked potatoes. I forgot about twice baked potatoes. It's something they have in the US, and I don't know where it originates from, but we should make those. Twice baked potatoes. You take a potato, you bake it, you scoop out the middle, you mix it up with some other shit, and you whip it together, and then you squirt it back in and bake it one more time. It's so good.
If somebody took a piece of potato and put it in mashed potato and ate it, do you know what my mother would say?
Yeah.
Smør på flesk og dyppe det i rømme.
Dyppe det i rømme, which means putting butter on your fat and dipping it in sour cream, which is all like different forms of fat. Smør på flesk I've heard, but not dyppe det i rømme. Then I haven't heard that part.
It's part of it.
Yeah, but common saying was the smør på flesk means too much of a good thing, or unnecessarily good.
It means an unnecessary addition.
Unnecessary addition, yeah. I'd go with that one. Because why would you put butter on your fat? Brutus says, Maggie, I'm still annoyed at my husband for not waking me up on my birthday with a towel, a pint, and a pack of peanuts. Maggie says, how dare he miss the important things? No potatoes for him. I like that lack of potatoes is considered a
form of punishment.
A form of punishment. I was going to say straff. What the fuck is straff in English?
Polish and Irish people. Yes,
that's a form of punishment. Yeah. Nikki says German. My other grandparents are great from my other grandparents, great are from Lithuania and Netherlands and England. Well, there you go. Orders from Lithuania. PJ's in England. We don't Netherlands. Garcia. There you get them all.
That's potato people. At least the Lithuanians are.
No, the family that I know, the ones that came over, and my family of was my great grandparents. They all came, and their generation came from Poland. My mother's side of the family had some German in it, but they pretty much died before I was born. So I never knew that side. Maggie says, how dare he miss all the... Oh, I did the potato thing. Let's make him listen to Vogon poetry. What's Vogon poetry?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, okay. It's been a while. I didn't remember the Vogon poetry, but oh god, that would be bad. That is torture. Torben says, did someone say mashed potatoes? It's the best. Especially when you like put some heated corn. I don't know what the hell is with Norway, but they take like the canned corn out of the can, drain it, and put it on the plate cold. You have to heat it in butter. It's so good. Anyway, but then you'd have your mashed potatoes and you take your corn in there and you stick that in there as well. And then you make you take a ladle of brown gravy and you have to push it down in the middle and then just slowly pour the gravy in the middle of it. So you have this like volcano. And then you like break the side and watch it go. You didn't have enough fun as a kid. Karin, Donna says, Karin, show us the piece you're working on. Yeah, I can do that. So I was going to show you the Stutby stitch today, but because I'm going to have to pretty much hug the lap box. It's the same month. It's the stitch of the month, but this one is Oslo, but it looks a little different because it's back and forth. And let's see here. Hold that and maybe make some of it go down. Let's see. There you go. It's a thin yarn. So right now it looks a lot thicker than it is on camera, but if I had a light behind it, which I don't, maybe. Let's try it this way. We can look up. Maybe you can see now I can do this. This is not easy. There you can see the holiness of it, I think. It's hard to know which way to... There's the camera up there. There, now you can see the holes through it. It's mohair yarn. It's a little thicker mohair yarn, though. But I'm using Oslo stitch, and you can see all the fuzz is kind of trapped there in the holes, so it's actually a lot warmer than it looks, but it's very light. But I'm doing Oslo stitch back and forth. I'm going to claim some fame here and some credit. Virginia, she had the YouTube channel Versama, and I don't know if she still has that as a name or something else anyway. She wanted to make a scarf, but she didn't know how to do the ends straight. And so I told her there's a crochet pattern where you... where you start at one end. There's your starting point. There, if I hold it out that way, that's your start. And then you go across, but when you get to the other end, you turn and loop. You just make a long chain, and then you go right back. And you do this back and forth like that the whole time. The only thing you have to do is make sure that you kind of connect more or less at the same spot. This can go like that. It can go like that. It doesn't really matter. You can choose to keep the loops or you can cut them. But that crochet pattern, I liked that there were loops. Anyway, so she did a tutorial video on how to make it. So you could do it along with her while she was making her first one. And that one's been quite of a popular hit. But you can see the first one there is just singled, and the end one will be singled too. But it is the easiest way to do back and forth and not have to worry about your ends lining up or how to turn a stitch. Just go with that. Another way you could make one if you wanted your stitches, because now my stitches are being turned every row, so it's like back and forth Oslo, which is why it doesn't look like a typical Oslo stitch with the diamonds, although this is about the most impossible yarn to identify it with. But you could alternately make a tube. You could make, this is a pouch, but let's just say this was a tube. A big tube, long enough as you want your scarf to be, and then when you're done, just cut it. And then you can pick out the ends, or you can kind of top stitch on it and have these little fuzzy ends on there, or you could add fringe after that, etc. So it's another way to make a scarf, but then all your stitches would be going in the same direction if you did that. So if you've seen the cowl pattern I have, the hood pattern, I mean, it starts out with a cowl that I make neck down. But the reason I make the hood part, I pick up and I go upwards as a tube and then cut it open, is because I want the stitches to all go the same way. Because just like crochet, if you're doing all the stitches in the same direction, it'll have one lick. But if you look like Freudian, everywhere is Freudian today. But if you go in one direction, it'll have a look. But if you go turn around and go back, and turn around and go back like a typewriter, it'll have a different look. And I wanted the hood, the top of the hood to match the bottom of the hood stitch wise. So I did it in the round and then cut it open and then sewed the top together. And then added a little binding around the opening. But that's why I did that. So if this was a solid yarn, it would be easier to see that this does not look like Oslo stitch, but it is. If you can see, it almost looks braided compared to what Oslo looks like. Oslo's got these little diamonds. There's no diamonds in this, but it's because I'm going back and forth. Let's see. So there you go. Donna's got the nice tip. I got a few of them. So the stitch of the month, I can at least talk about it anyway. This is the stitch of the month. It's Stutby. And I just found out that it is actually, well, earlier, not just, found out that it is actually showing it in the right direction. I was afraid it was going to be mirrored. But this one, if you know how to do Mommen, and if you know how to do, well, I was going to say Corgan actually, and if you know how to do Broden, I think this is an F1 connection. Yeah, it should be F1. If you know how to do Corgan and you know how to do Broden, this is like a step in between. Because you work it just like you would Mommen, but instead of doing 2 loops behind your thumb, you do you take one more like you would in Broden, but that third loop, you split it in half. You literally pierce the needle straight through the loop, and then you go forward through the one on your thumb. But you also have to have a plaited edge. The plaited edge where the yarn goes, the needle goes over the working yarn instead of under it when you finish your stitch. And that gives you this little, can you see it there? Yeah, like a little braid at the top. But that will also mean that your previous row of stitches will slant in the opposite direction. Whereas if you do like you do in Oslo and go under the working yarn, they would slant that way. But that's what Stutby is, and hopefully I'll have the phone next week so that I can show it the right way. Speaking of, it's been a long couple hours. Where is that British boy with my phone?
He's probably still doing whatever he's doing with Clifton.
You made that sound so dirty. Anyway, so
I don't know how dirty it is. I'm not there.
Pruda's sleepy. We might have actually made her where we might have actually worn her out now, but actually the link has been.
She is in our time zone.
I know. What the hell? It's only 10 o'clock almost. But we're almost at 3 hours actually, so I think we've kind of made up for the crappy internet today.
Oh. And I'm drunk and burping pure licorice, so.
I don't know. We got to put him to bed. He's getting to basically Torben's mood swing now. This is what Torben aims for. 16.4%. That's like drinking half a bottle of wine. I only had this much of the outer wine.
Yeah, but how strong is the other wine?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's a secret. But when you don't normally drink, actually, then that's a lot of wine for me.
Karl.
Pin the shirt. Oh, that translated to pork chop sounds wonderful. So I have to put the thing over in front of it. Pin the shirt sounds wonderful. Pin the shirt. What's the difference between pin the shirt and pork chops?
Well, different animals for the
everything.
First thing.
Yeah.
Everything is different.
Yeah. It's ribs, but it's lamb ribs, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep. And then you steam them on sticks, which is why they call it stick meat. Pin shirt translates to stick meat. Pork chops is.
Yeah, you put in sticks to basically make it so that they are steamed, not boiled, so not actually in the water, they're just in the steam.
Mm-hmm. Torben says, by Odin's great beard, I demand to have some gin. You're a little late now, Torben. You should have poured that about an hour ago. By the way, he was the one that brought up the steamed. Potatoes steamed in the same pan as the peanut shirt. Now that's some decent spuds.
That's actually
good. Yeah. Peanut shirt's actually not my favorite. It's usually because it's too salty. He likes it. I'm from the other part of Oslo, or the other part of Norway, the part that eats pig ribs.
Yeah, the part that keeps getting invited by the Danes.
It's because the Danes don't want your damn food. It's too
Danes
salty.
come dragging their pigs along, and the people in Oslo just eat them like idiots.
Danes want potatoes. Oh yeah, and then you pick the driest variety of potato, the mandelpotet, which technically means what translates to the almond potato.
What do you mean
Mandel
I
potato.
pick?
Norwegians, they do with the with your Christmas food anyway. And you have all these wonderful varieties of potatoes, and you go with the driest one you could possibly find, the mandelpotet, the mandel potato, and you steam them. So, but it's like,
If you're looking for moisture, you should probably not be eating
I don't
potatoes
know,
in
but
the
I'm
first
thinking I
place.
could add some water and milk and add, put some moisture into them and whip them, and then might have a pretty decent mashed potato. But you got like the pink potatoes, Beata Pimpernel, the red potatoes. I feel like Bubba Gump shrimp now. You got the Beata Pimpernel,
Kalla,
Idaho. Max says, so I noticed you're making a scarf for winter, right?
Kalla.
I'll probably throw it in the shop, although there's nothing Viking about a scarf, but we don't know, we don't have very many finds of Nalbinding in the Viking age, and some of them are getting redated as we speak. But in the village we will allow accessories. Sweaters taking it too far, shawls pushing it, by the way. But we will allow them, but we do have to kind of correct and say we know that they had the technique in the Viking age, but whether or not they would have had a hood, that's pushing it too. Probably not. There's no fines for that. But we do allow the Vikings to wear, because we're cold. So yeah, but this has got a lot of heat in it, so it'll be a scarf, yeah. I think like this, but it's gonna be, right now it's just a skinny scarf. But yeah, that was the idea. Oh, another thing with the scarf too, by the way, another tip I will give you is make it a lot longer than you think, because it shrinks up over the first 3 rows at least anyway. So I think when I started this, it went down. When I have it here now, it went all the way down to my lap, but it's shrunk up quite a bit. But it's just about the minimum now. So always make it a lot longer than you think. Pruda says, slept like shit last night. Yeah, I think I did too. It must be in the air. Ooh, Christmas. I heard Volan will be celebrating Yule this year, so of course I'm sewing a new wool cloak because it's going to be cold. I should probably finish my cloak one day. I lined it with linen because I didn't have time to make the sleeves, so because I needed to wear it right then and there. But one thing is, I took a shortcut and I shouldn't have done it. I was in such a hurry to have a winter cloak for the Re Middelalder Festival, medieval festival in Re, in Norway, and it's in February, so I thought it was gonna be cold. I used a kid interior wool blanket. They had like a sale or something. I don't know. So you could buy these blankets for 300 kroner each at the time. It's probably like 500 now. And I cut it up to make some to make a cloak out of. But one thing you need to do is you really do need to wash the wool first, especially those, because you kind of want to make sure it's done shrinking. But it was a little too loosely woven. So there's so much embroidery. That's the one that's in the textile house, the red one. There's so much embroidery on the backside of that. There's like panels, embroidery on the backside, just kind of squiggly lines with heads added on them, so they look like snakes that are intertwining. Not because it's meant to be this most decorative thing, but because each and every one of those embroideries is a patch. Because the weight of it is so heavy, the cloak of the wool hanging off of you like that it starts to thin out on the shoulder area, and start to come undone. So I have to then put a new piece of wool behind it and embroider on it and sort of to get it to keep from thinning out.
I seem to remember somebody saying that Norwegian military blankets are very good to
They
make
are.
clothes from.
Yeah, they are actually. I had a couple of them, but yeah, Norwegian military blankets are really good. The American military blankets are really good. I made my kid a cloak out of one of the gray ones from I think my dad back in the day used to tailor in the military, in the army. Anyway, so we had some military blankets. And that's actually 2 of them one was green and one was this gray anyway, and I won one from each of my kids. Lindsay says potatoes, boil them, fry them, mash them in the stew. Yeah, potatoes, but it's potatoes. But if you're Samwise Gamgee, it's potatoes. Nikki says, okay, driving back and listening to. Max says, I was thinking maybe Sana Marie would write a book about the Nalbinding stitches she does based on her website. Oh, I wish she would. I really wish she would. I saw somebody try to do one. I wrote one, which is actually supposed to be really good. And I don't know, and that is even including Justin's caribou stitch in there. So it's things from her page and more. And it was to the point where people going, is that kind of like plagiarized? But no, I don't think so. But it is actually really nice to have that companion list, that book. I don't know where it's from. I think they got it on Amazon. I think it's print on demand or something. But it is quite handy. Somebody was saying, oh, for the stitch of the month, you should check out Sana's page. She's got loads. I'm like, where do you think I get the stitch of the month from? I go through and I pick my favorite one. That is the Needle Binding Bible. Sana Marie's page, neulakentat.fi. Or actually, if you do en.neulakentat, which is NEULIKINTAAT, and then .fi. You have to do the en first, because if you don't do en, you get the Finnish version. But you can go into the click on the Finnish stitches, the Russian stitches, turning stitches, and other stitches.
Yeah, and
but
for Finnish, you have to be either Finnish or Estonian to understand the goddamn thing.
Yep. Oh yeah, some more things. Lindsay Langley's talking about Norwegian wool is like $4, so that's a lot of money. Yeah, and then thank you for putting the link in there for Neulakentat. Think it's and she also has. I do have it memorized this because I have to type it so many times, so I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but that's why. Her site is a little bit difficult to navigate at some points, but that's because she had issues with the server and had to have it moved over to a different one or something. I don't know. And not everything got copied over correctly, but you can't miss her on YouTube, because if you see some lady working with blue yarn, that's probably her. Sometimes she will do it once in Finnish and then in English, and then at some point she just drops speaking altogether and just plays music in the background. But she's so calm. So you take something that's can be really frustrating, like trying to learn how to needlebind for the first time, and then you listen to that and you're like, I can do this. You're in Zen. No, but there was something. Ren was also asking me yesterday. I have to catch up on chat, but I don't have my phone. Wool. She wants to buy wool. We do not actually have a lot of yarn in Gudvangen. We do carry some of the troll yarn from Hillesvåg, which is using the same type of wool, same type of sheep wool that we have as the sheep we have in the village. So using the same kind of wool. Anyway, and we like the troll yarn for needle binding. It's a bit thicker. It is 2-ply, but it's a good thickness for it. And then we try to pick the colors, or I should say, I would that kind of close resemble what you would get with plant dyeing, although it's machine dyed. But they have a lot of wonderful wool. But then she asked, Ren was asking, do you have wool that's carded that we can spin? No, we have a lot of people that ask if they can take the. We have the wool in the village, of course, that you can wash and card and spin, etc. But it's a lot of work for us to wash it and card it all. But not only that, but it has to be machine processed cleaning in order for some countries, especially New Zealand and Australia, and even I think United States, to let you take it back into it, because it's an agricultural thing.
I don't know. I don't think United States have the same restrictions as Australia.
No, I don't know, because Australia and New Zealand are absolutely the most strict. That one, you actually need a piece of paper of documentation that says this sheepskin I have bought, or this horn, or whatever has been processed, so they don't get any.
I don't think they can bring them at all. At least we don't have the option of giving them a paper that would be acceptable.
No, we'd have to have some sort of printing anyway. That says that's where they got them from. So no, most of them won't even try, because they're just used to having them yoinked at the airport. Was that correct? Thank you.
More or less.
Yoink.
I might also have them yeeted, but
no, they don't yeet them. They only yoink. Yeeted. What the Yiddish word is that? Mm-hmm. Nothing. But Hillesvåg also does have some carded wool that we can buy. That's already, we can get the natural color. And we can also get some colored ones. So when I was talking to her, I was looking at that, and I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can get a nice green one, blue one, and one that's kind of ochre colored. And then, of course, a darker gray and a lighter gray. So, and I think they sold them in 100-gram bags of pre-carded wool that's already been processed. So I will try to get those from the Needle Binding Festival. I'll try to get some of those in stock. If you have ull.no, for the ones of you in Norway that can buy from that page, ull.no, you can see what they have. It will be cheaper to buy it from the site, hands down, because we do have a tourist markup, but we can at least get them in the shop. So, for example, Ren, who was thinking I'd like to come there and I'd like to get that, but I can't find it, and then we can at least. But those I want to see how they go.
Most people understand how shops work.
Yeah, but we're much more.
We wouldn't be selling anything if we didn't make a profit on it.
No, but also it's because our discount's not that great. With them, we'd have to buy mass quantities. We have to be a yarn store buying tons and tons and tons and tons to get a better discount than we actually do. So, but if you're in Norway, yes, it's obviously going to be much cheaper to buy it online. But also, if you get in the shop, it will be more, but you won't have to wait for shipping, customs, anything.
Yes.
But the idea anyway is that we don't have any wool that you can spin with.
The added advantage of buying anything in a store as opposed to buying it online is that you have an opportunity to see it, feel it, and basically decide this is the one for me. Yeah. And then you get it immediately.
Yeah, and you can see if you like it. You can,
to just guessing that this probably is what I'm looking for, and then ordering it, and then sitting around with your thumb up your ass for days and waiting for it to show up.
You know, that color looks really good online, and then you see it, and it's not what you were expecting, or maybe it, But anyway, no. So I'm gonna get. I think the 5 of those. I'll get 5 colors, and I'll get enough for the needle binding festival to take a look at and see if they like, and if they sell well, then maybe we continue them into the next season. If not, when they're gone, they're gone. Torben found some cold pizza. Speaking of cold pizza here, Karl. You want some garlic on that?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Anyway, so I will get some of that. And we do have a couple of drop spindles. They're not the greatest, but they do in a trick. But, if you have like a Turkish spindle or drop spindle you want to bring with, they don't actually take too much room. You can sit and spin your own. I was going to see if I can get Øyvind Sagerbroten to come. Because he also makes he makes bone needles, he makes drop spindles with soapstone whorls, and he makes needles, lots of fun things, and bone rings. So I'll see if I can get him to come. His wife likes the textile, so I think we can pull this one off.
On the list of Freeman I actually like, he can get an honorable mention.
Oh, he's wonderful. Yeah, even we'll have Runa making needles as well, for example. But Øyvind makes drop spindles, so it would be nice to get him there because we only have the one kind in the shop. They're not quite what we want, but they work. But if I get the wool in anyway, there's quite a few people there that do drop spinning. So you could ask questions too if you needed. Lindsay says, buy it soon, have it shipped to Karin or Gudvangen and pick it up at the festival. You can do that. If you're allowed to pay through it, then just you can have it shipped to Gudvangen. You'd have to put my name on it. They'll put the Viking Valley shop, care of Karin Boom, and then just let me know it's coming, and then we can hang on to it for you. I was telling Maria about that too, because we need to get some more of her booklets for the shop because we're running low. It's the end of the season. But when she's here, it would be better for her to sell them during the festival, and then she can keep the profit, etc. on them. But if she has too many and she doesn't want to carry them all back, we can buy the rest ones for the store, probably, of hers books. Anne-Marie Decker will also bringing her booklets to the Nalbinding Made Easy. We have Mervi Pasanen's book. I ordered 50 of those with one needle. Sally Pointer's books. I bought 25 of those thinking those were going to last a while, and I think we have maybe 6 left, but I was happy to see that they came, so they've got them in stock, so I'm going to have to order about 50 more of those so we have them. I think that's and then of course we have Nusa Melgren's book as well, the one that looks like they're needle binding in the clouds. I did find out though that the French ones and the French and German translation, which we have of that book as well, that comes in English, Swedish, and French German for those who like that one. I have probably about 15 of those books left. They're out of print, but they're getting more they expect more in September. So I have those on rest order, and those will arrive before the festival as well, if you wanted a German and a French one. But yeah, if there's anything else I need to make sure that I have in stock, let me know well before, ahead of time. By the way, I purchased for the store. So that we can get them in anyway. We do have a lot of the needle binding needles as well. Outer makes them, Runa makes them, but if they're here in the village, they can bring them themselves and you can buy them from them directly, and then you don't have to worry about a shop markup, anything, and all the money goes to them. We like it when they can demonstrate their craft, etc. And one of the bonus things is they keep all the profit. But if we sell it in the store, oh yeah, we'll put a markup on it and take a commission. But the option is you can get it anyway. So that was a good one. Another one was Otnesgård. Otnesgård is the farm that's in our land that has the same type of sheep that we do.
Otternes.
Nei, Otnes. A with a circle over it, Otnes. It's not Otternes. Otternes is something else. Otnes is a farm with sheep, etc. And they make all that natural colored wool. It's thin. You're going to want to use at least Finnish 2+2 with it, or maybe Finnish 2+3. A dense stitch, but it's a really pretty wool, and it's the natural color of the sheep. So sometimes they have dark, sometimes they have light, sometimes they have this mid color. It all depends on the sheep that year. They may have some carded wool. They also have sheepskins. But they might have some carded wool. But if I call them and ask them if they want to come out for the day, they might be up for that. Tell them, hey, come sell your wool. They can join the festival and the lecture for free, which will be nice for them. So I bet I can probably get them to come too. Anyway, yeah, so we got to have some yarn. And then, of course, I'm telling everybody we need to do a yarn swap too. So if you have a bunch of yarn, you can carry it and you want to get rid of it, bring it, dump it on the table, ask somebody, either they can buy it from you directly or say, hey, what do you got? I'll take one of those for that. And because one man's garbage is another man's treasure.
So this will very quickly turn into yarn for sexual favors.
Yeah, exactly. Shh, don't give away all our secrets. Anyway, Nikki says, or you buy mohair and you discover you hate it. Yeah, exactly. It could be. I almost got rid of all my mohair yarn. I bought it because I was making a bunch of knitted shawls with it. It was a bigger thing that I did in the early 2000s. They were a hit. I sold a whole bunch of them at craft fairs, etc. But then when I went to needlebind, I thought it was too thin. It looks very thin to work with, and that green one is even thinner. But then I made a hat out of it for fun, and just to see how mohair would look with it, and it actually turned out quite cool. So even this whole big scarf can be squished into nothing. So only yarns laugh out loud. Well, we have an old rock, says Torben. They have an old spinning wheel. They didn't have spinning wheels in the Viking age, but we're having a hard time. The only spinning wheels we have at work right now, the donated ones, they all seem to be missing one thing. Don't know what it could be. This could be that or whatever. So we can't really spin on them. But somebody needs to put a spinning wheel in a Viking grave so that we can. Yeah,
it's 300 years off, at least 2.
4, yeah, about 400 years or so, I think.
She hasn't done that for a while.
No, she sits down and cleans herself while she's mid-wind. It's not the sound you were expecting when she did that. Anyhow, Nikki says, oh, I wish I could bring my wool to sell. I hate it when I don't get to come. Hey, but if it's a success and it looks like it's pretty good, we have quite a few people confirmed coming from out of the country, which in my opinion is considered a success. But it's the first festival we're having like this. Maybe if it goes really well, we can do it again next year. Maybe we can do more kinds of craft festivals too. Maybe we can do one for weaving. Maybe we can do one for wood carving or beer brewing would be awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of a slow process though.
Yeah, we got to get people anyway, but we want to do more of these.
So that would basically be 4 guys talking to Jay over a what?
Totally worth it. Anyway, but hopefully it'll be a success. We can keep up for it. But now we're starting we're going to hit 10 years soon. So we're getting a budget where we're that we can work with to bring more things, lectures and events like this anyway, to spread more education, not just a guided tour with some archery and axe throwing and a selfie with Karl, but so you get an education out of it too. So we're trying to do more of those. Nikki says, I need to win the lotto.
I mean, so many family albums, you have no idea.
Yes. Some of them come back the next year to take a picture again. Hey, I was looking at my family's album and my brother and my sister-in-law were here and they took a picture of you and now I'm here. I need a picture too with you so I can show them, look, he has not aged a bit. He looks old in all of them.
Actually, that happens.
There. It's hi again from Butthead Danny annoying. Oh, no, you're not annoying. You're quite fun. Hello, butthead Danny. Okay, now so my little brother's name is Danny.
See a butthead too?
Well, we used to call my neighbor would nicknamed us Bunhead. I don't know where it came from. My last name was Bassett, like the dog. So at first they would say Hound. Everybody would call us Hound. Some would even go woo. Anytime we'd walk by like a hound dog. But one of them, for some reason, he would say, "You're Bunhead," and he's referring to my brother, who's a year and 6 days older than me and in the same class as him. Your Bunhead sister and your little Bunhead brother. So we were called Bunheads, but that's kind of close to Butthead, so we could be Butthead. But you're right at the tail end. We carried on extra long because we had some link issues earlier. But I think, believe it or not, I've run out of crap to talk about.
Yeah.
Did you run out of crap to talk? You cannot have any more of that licorice now. I noticed you put the lid on
I
it.
want to talk about right now I probably shouldn't do on YouTube.
What kind of crap do you want to talk about?
I want to whine about the little fucker who should bring you your phone.
Ah, the little, yeah. Yeah, we're also sending in this wonderful mode on a laptop because I forgot my phone at work, so I can't turn the camera around, etc. And somebody said they would bring it in about 2 hours, and that was an hour and a half ago. that 2 hours was up an hour and a half ago. I found a cool documentary Torben says on Netflix. It's called Robin Hood has Russell Crowe in it. It's really, really good.
Documentary.
You're dating yourself. Documentary. Oh, and then Nikki says, by the way, no, actually, Prude asked about Karl. Prude asked about Karl and reenactment.
Lady Marion shoots a guy with a longbow at 300 feet.
Where did she ask about that?
300 yards, I mean.
Yeah. No. There was another thing. Okay, so our train leaves from Voss tomorrow just past midnight. So technically on early Tuesday morning. Greg is going to be driving us into Voss after work at 6. We leave at 6, so we'll probably be there just before 7 o'clock. What the fuck are we going to do for 5 hours? And then I thought, we could go to a movie because it's right across the street practically. Our options are watching Ice Cream Man. Horror. No, not going to do that. And then there was another one with Anne Hathaway in it and Ewan McGregor, and it was something about their neighborhood got transported to the Viking age or something, or not the Viking, but dinosaur age, and all of a sudden their neighbors are being eaten alive, and I'm thinking, no. Or Odyssey. Maybe we need to go see the documentary Odyssey.
The horror movie.
No, I don't want to watch the horror movie. I gotta go on a train ride with you. That is a horror movie.
You can't expect me to watch the Odyssey in a crowded theater with people that I can't rent.
There might not be very many people in there. It's Voss.
It's
in the Panorama Theater.
A movie of the Trojan War where they managed to use a Viking ship.
Okay, maybe we see the Anne Hathaway, Ewan McGregor one then. I'm not gonna watch some ice cream guy going, "Want to buy an ice cream cone?" No.
That actually sounds fun.
No, I'm not doing it. But anyway, we might need to go see a movie. Either that or get pissed drunk at a bar and pass out and miss the train. So
I like that idea too.
No, it ain't gonna happen. Anne Roshi says, "Oh my God, you are still live. Just came home." Yeah, no, we had internet issues, so I thought I'd make up for it because what was it? 3 times we went offline or something like that. Anyway, so tomorrow when you see it, it'll get like smushed together.
Yeah,
and it won't be as long as you think.
We did a lot of talking when we were not aware that we were offline.
Oh, I know. Torben says no spoilers, Karl. Nikki says, how did he become a reenactor? Hector. Lindsay said, I heard the dinosaur one was actually pretty good. The point is that it's a romp. You know, I never even heard of it. I've heard about Spider-Man and I've heard about Odyssey, but not so much comes out to this part of Norway anyway. So I not heard of the Ice Truck Man. It sounds like a remake from something out of the 70s. But I thought Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor, those are pretty good actors. So you would think it would be good, but it was just really weird. Suddenly they're running down their street and their neighbor gets eaten by a dinosaur, and it just... And it's got like the dome under the... Fuck, it's a Greg. Scared the shit out of me.
I got it.
I have my phone. Anyway, but all of a sudden it kind of reminded me of Under the Dome a little bit. Oh. Anyway, Greg's here, so I'm going to go say hi, but we've been chatting for a long time now. So we're going to see you later. Next Saturday we'll be back. Probably 7 o'clock. So he's gone. Greg's waving. See, and I'll actually be able to show you some needle binding. But see you, have fun. I'm going to go and put him to bed because soon that alcohol is going to hit really hard. Bye-bye. Thanks for hanging in there.